Whoa, everybody, it's Awestruck Comics Podcast. We're doing it again. Reviews Day. Reviews Day. This is close to the top 10. I think there might be a little more than 10 books. We've talked recently. We may want to, we talk about some of the same stuff. We might just want to like have 10 books a week and then honorable
Yeah,
mentions.
yeah, we kind of figure like let's not talk about books we don't that aren't moving the needle. You know what I mean? If they're not
Mhm.
making any, if they're not moving us emotionally or some level, like they're not awing us with their art or their storytelling. Like I don't want to be on here and be like, hey, I just kind of liked it. Like no, let's like
Yeah, yeah.
I don't mind saying to you, I read Spectacular Spider-Man. I just kind of liked it. That's cool,
Not spectacular.
but that's not worth us going through page by page, sometimes panel by panel, examining this stuff like we do.
Right, right, exactly. Yeah. So like this week, for example, like Two-Face number 4 comes out. Guess what? It's going to be great. Is it going to be talked about? No, because we talked about the first three. You know what I mean? Like so, like we get it. Unless
Yeah, yeah.
unless six really
Unless
knocks my socks off, we're probably not talking about it again. It's all Awestruck
or
approved,
Or you know what?
stamped.
Maybe I'm not against you. Say, hey Rob, I read Two Face. Here's the cover. I like this page. Cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If we don't zero down on like 10 books a week, then at the very least we can be like, this is a highlight of that comic.
Right, right.
Because we do want to keep this positive. We don't want to always. It's so easy to be negative about comics. It's so easy to follow the tropes. That's how people get the links.
Yeah,
You
this
know,
week's a mixed bag for me, man. I'm all over the map on this one. This is gonna be a fun one.
you're
Be
all
a
over the
roller
map,
coaster.
regardless.
That's correct. So yes, sorry for the delay in the reviews. Redid my office last week. Surprising. I moved the nightstand, and then that turned into moving this bookcase, and that turned into let me have my desk over there, and that turned into let me have the couch over here, and then that turned into it was it is a OCD ADHD nightmare.
How many
It's a
nightstands did you
nightmare.
move?
Huh?
How many nightstands did you move?
Just one.
So you had one nightstand?
I had one nightstand, but I bought the nightstand for the spot in the smaller room. But when I did that,
Don't
it
let your
didn't
girl
do it.
hear that.
So that was her nightstand. Yeah, literally for her. I blamed
No,
her last weekend.
the joke mark is
Oh,
now I'm explaining it. He said I got one night stand. Don't let her hear.
oh, I see what you did there.
See what? I'm sorry.
That's what he
Cut
said.
that. Cut that.
Nah, we're keeping it in. It's all in,
Keep it
staying
in.
in.
And
Anyway, the long and short of it is, shockingly, I could put myself in a project that I couldn't really get out of quickly, so I kind of threw everything off. So not the best, but good week. Quick plugs. Idiosyncratic Pope. I work on my old stuff, take pictures of a lot of my old comics,
now,
themes, couple
now, what does
projects.
idiosyncratic mean?
I'm not sure. I forget exactly what it means.
Sounds good though.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
it's like odd.
Sounds
Yeah,
pretentious.
it is. It's like odd. You know, it's more niche,
I'm
odd and
such a
niche,
jerk. Such a jerk
oddly
sometimes.
niche.
Let me call you out on
It's
something.
okay. Let's talk about what is. Can you define irony? That's always ridiculously hard to
Can
do.
you define irony? I know what
I
it is.
I know
I
what it
know what it
is.
is.
There
You
you
know what?
go.
It's not a 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife.
I know that I know that all of that entire song is not ironic, which is weird.
I think there's one thing that's close to ironic, and that's what's ironic is the song's called Ironic. That's the closest irony in that song.
Yeah, brutal, brutal. You still been
So
you're doing good on your
yeah,
ex's Twitters.
yeah. On my ex Twitter, I got Rob Messick still just posting up stuff. This week I put up a couple of pictures of the Jay Lee Wizard cards. They're chromium, handed out in Wizards when
Oh,
Jay Lee was doing Youngblood Strike File. So I
I
scanned
see.
in my
Right.
cards. They're really nice, really good scan. The home team of Youngblood signed by Jay Lee, and I found the original art on Heritage Auctions, so I got that to compare. So you can kind of compare and contrast the color chromium cards to the Heritage original art,
Hmm.
the Heritage Auctions listing of Jay Lee's original art.
You have a
So
subscription to Heritage? Don't they have a
I
thing
mean,
where?
I signed up to it. I'm not.
Yeah.
I just that's all. I just signed up to the website. I don't have a subscription or anything. But like, let everyone, if you want to see original art, doesn't matter who your artist is, they have really huge high res images.
Mhm.
You know, so whether you like McFarlane, Platt, Jim Lee, Sam Keith, they have something of theirs.
Yeah, they have. I mean, it's really fun, and I don't know in the next couple of years if I'm going to graduate into original art. More than likely, but when I want, the original art that I want, technically it would probably be anything pre 1995, because after 95 is 92 to 95. That's when everything went to like digital lettering. Like I want everything on the page. I only own one page, a Sean Phillips page that it's him lettering, well, computer lettering after he drew it, printed it out, lettering went on, and then he inked it. So, but I want all the paste ups and I think a first page would be best because you can have the indicia glued to the bottom. You can have uh, a ton of paste ups, the title. I don't know how much it would be, but can you imagine having like a Buscema Joe Rosen with all his title and like a
Oh yeah,
page one Conan?
that
Oh
would
my
be
God.
gorgeous.
I mean, I'm sure that's a lot of money, but um, I'll take a bad issue. I'll take well, they're really, I mean, we'll see. Anyway, so yeah, so we're gonna get into the
Let's
reviews.
let's dive in.
Let's dive in. Let's get it. Enough jibber jabber. Uh, let's get into it.
It'll be a good news week this week, everyone. That's true. Last week's Awestruck news really thick, 2 hour plus show.
Yes, that was ridiculous.
This week's got a lot of stuff too.
Let me just make
So, are
this.
we starting with Superman?
Oh yeah.
All
Oh
right.
yeah.
This might be one of my books of the week.
Yeah, I think this is my book of the week, hands down. This I think it met every so this is Superman 23, Legacy 866. What Superman are they counting? What's 866? So that's technically
They
Superman.
It's
That's Action
Superman
Comics.
up until John Byrne, and then
John
technically
Byrne.
Superman becomes Adventures of Superman.
Son of a bitch.
So John Byrne can just have adjectiveless Superman, which I disagree with.
I disagree.
I
Yes.
think you should have left Superman alone. Don't title it The Adventures of Superman, and then John Byrne should have had a comic just Superman, Man of Steel. Like you're
Mm,
coming off of a Man of Steel miniseries. Why don't you just
right.
take that title to your brand new Superman #1 comic? Like
Right.
so, but anyway, Superman becomes Adventures of Superman for like 10 solid years.
Right.
And then finally they're like, let's just go at one point finally when because we did get Superman Man of Steel eventually with Bogandolph and Louis Simonson,
Mhm.
and then we got Superman Man of Tomorrow, and at one point, what point did they decide? You know what? Let's just do two Superman books, Action and Superman, and they made Superman. They dropped off the Adventures of Superman and just made it Superman again, and then they
Yeah, I don't
canceled the
know.
John Byrne book.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
can't
like it was
really figure
after,
out.
could have been after Crisis, maybe after Infinite Crisis.
Hmm, I don't
Um,
know. I'm not
because
sure of
didn't they
the.
come back and
I feel like I've
Superman was
never not read Superman. You know what I mean? Like, but I maybe there was
yes.
some stuff that I
Well,
was just
to
boring.
refresh your memory, this might be right after Infinite Crisis, where Kurt Busiek and Pete Woods, Superman was powerless. So it's mostly a Clark Kent
Mhm.
story. I think that's when they brought it down to just two titles.
That might be right.
That might be right.
Then it's
Um,
Pacheco. Pacheco's Superman. Superman.
no, I think it's before Pacheco Superman.
Oh, I see.
I
Okay.
think it was Pete. I think it's Pete Woods. This is
Mhm.
like directly after Infinite Crisis because Superman was powerless. I think Pacheco came along very soon after that, and Jeff
Yeah.
Johns did too.
Yeah, I think Johns did like that was him and Busiek I think started off with the Pete Wood stuff. So,
And then
um,
eventually Jeff Johns brought in. No, I don't think Jeff Johns was there then, but not long after that he came in because he came in with Richard Donner and Adam Kubert.
oh, that's right. Mhm.
Great stuff. Jeff Johns Superman run, thumbs up.
Action Comics. He
And
did
this
Action Comics.
he did Action Comics, and this might be my favorite Superman comic since then.
I think this series, this from one has been pretty good. I wouldn't mind a reread on that because I think they're still they're still doing details from the first storyline from Supercorp like that. So I think that I'm not lost like, but it's like they're just really bringing this whole story like through. Where I think 25, I think you said 24 is a fill in, 25 is probably a lot of
Yeah,
Mora, a lot of
yeah.
Mora,
Mora Mora.
hey
It's
Mora
Mora
Mora.
Mora. Yeah, 24 is going to be drawn by Eddie Barrows. So that's not really.
That's fine.
If you're going to give us a
That's
fill
good.
in, give us someone on
Hmm.
that caliber,
Yeah.
you know.
Um, I guess I just like looking as again. I think that all his figure work is great. I'm not super sold on his face. On Dan Mora's faces on all every woman character is perfect. I think Batman's perfect. I think the majority of the characters are perfect. We'll get to Justice League later, but I feel like his Superman isn't exactly there yet, and he's on
You know
Superman.
what? We don't know what his touchstone is. Like he's got to
Right.
have something that he keeps going back to, and whatever he's going back to maybe isn't a Superman that you and I, first off, that we even remember right now. We can't figure out what his touchstone is, what he began, what he's looking at. Like he's not
Mm.
looking at a burn Superman. He's looking at something. We just don't know what it is, but that's his thing. We just don't know what that is.
Right, right. Yeah, I feel like Jorge Jimenez like came from like he was a little bit more distinct. You can see what like more of his the seeds of where he came from. Like Rafael Albuquerque. I feel like I could see where Jimenez kind of came from.
To me,
Daybach and
Mora
backwards.
always seemed to come out of the Francis Manipul school. That's who I always,
Right.
especially when he was doing like Klaus with Grant Morrison. And that to me, he always kind of reminded me of that Francis Manipul look. But I don't recall Francis Manipul's Superman doesn't look like this, I don't think. It's more square, I
No.
think. He didn't
Yeah,
draw Superman a lot.
he drew him in that No Justice, the four issue series that they had, like in between like Justice League stuff, Justice League
Yes.
No Justice. So,
Hmm.
and I think he did a couple one shots, or I think he might have did the winter one. He might have started that.
I feel like you're right.
Um, but yeah, you may be right, but I feel like every other character, look, the Jimmy here is good. His
Jimmy's good.
Lois in here is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's perfect lines. She's not overwrought. They say every line you add to a woman's face ages her, and he's got the right amount of lines on her face,
Yeah, that's
which is none.
yeah, and I like what he does a lot of times with the hair. Like I feel like he's probably number one or number two in hair. Marco Cicchetto being I think number one in
I
doing hair.
like the lower panel where her eyes are wide open. It's got a Margot Kidder
With eyes
vibe.
wide open.
It's a
Good there.
Margot Kidder vibe without looking like Margot Kidder. Interesting.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for the movie where we're getting Miss Maisel. I think that's actually kind of perfect. She's smart.
I
She's
didn't
push
watch
smart.
Miss Maisel. I probably
I didn't
should have,
watch it either. Yeah.
but like, I know everyone's excited about her because I guess whatever dress she wore at the Vanity Fair party, it's
I sent that
super.
to the group. I was like, this
Did
is
you?
very
All right.
excited. I'm very excited about it.
It's a very boobalicious dress. Sorry, there's no
Well, it's
women
funny.
listening to
It's
this.
no, it's funny because it's
None.
like it has like almost like a Superman symbol here under it's underboob. It's an underboob dress. It's amazing.
Oh man.
But she's in the clip talking about the first time she saw Superman in the suit, and I was like, well, I'm like in your suit, you know what I mean? So it
Yeah,
was
yeah. I'm
pretty
getting
great,
feelings.
pretty great stuff. So splash pages are excellent, so a lot of action. Again, it's action while this quiet thing is going on. That's in suspended time essentially here,
Yeah.
because it landed in the cliffhanger that we know that Jimmy's getting hurt. Um, Now, we were a big fan of Williamson. I feel like I got this was the thing for that was in every third book. I got this, right? I don't
Right,
like
right.
I like saying yeah, no, like yeah, no. I just don't think she would say that, and I hate like because it's two actions. So to me, having one action and saying yeah, no, it's really doesn't work. Or maybe this should have been yeah over here, no. Like you know what I mean? I don't know. I hate that. That's it. That's my one nitpick of the book.
You know what, Mark, you're right.
Um,
F this book. We're done.
yeah, that's it. It's over. Yeah, see? Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
No to this book,
no.
which I've
Um,
already said is like my book of the week.
yeah, I don't know. Again, when we get into a little bit later, we'll get into the Justice League. Again, still making DC, still making a mistake, guys. Just stagger one a week. Just stagger it a little bit for
Nope.
us.
Nope. Give
If
me
you
the same week.
give me all Mora in the same week. So yes, we know that Jimmy's going to get hit here. That's a pretty terrible. That's always that I can hear that, right? Like I hate movies when someone drops a camera. Camera for me is
Right.
always there. It's always a very precious
They're
situation.
very heavy and very delicate.
Mm, scary.
Yeah.
Look at that. Kurchicha.
Rough dude.
Kurchicha. So, but this is from the beginning of Superman because where he has this like almost like overpower, like he's kind of exploding, and he doesn't like getting that heavy because it's hard for him to pull himself back.
Yeah.
Um, Look at all the good Boom booms, crack a boom, you know,
Yeah.
time trapper, very scary, great. Still, again, I don't mind having the super family here. I like them like this because I don't really want, I get confused. There's too many of them. So to do this is fine. I don't, to do this is fine. Uh, there's, Luther with the big gun, big fat gun.
Yep.
Also
Still being.
Radiant. They couldn't come up with a better name. To me, and I think it's kind of cool that I can't think about Radiant without thinking about Radiant Black, even though that's a pretty newer property. I just feel like there's other names they could have came up with. I hate
Yeah.
that it's called Radiant.
It's kind of weird because you don't even read Radiant Black, right?
I read the first two traits, and I
So,
just like held
so
on it.
that book's got 40 issues out,
Mhm.
and like,
And then like two, three spinoffs
but Joshua
were
Williamson, is he like he's probably like friendly with him, you know? They
sure,
run in similar circles. Like, why would you name a character Radiant? I'm not gonna go name a character Savage, you know? Oh, like Savage
right.
Dragon, you know, or Doc Savage. Like when I've created characters, I always try to avoid sounding like other names. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, I
I
don't
do
know.
I do know. I try not to. And like this is like the Radiant don't give something to DC that somebody else is already using. That might cause a
Right.
problem in the future. You know,
Well, it's funny. I looked through like an inside image this week, and they had Gen X like number. They were listing Gen X number three, and I'm like, oh, that's right. They changed that very late.
yes.
Really late.
That's funny you were looking through an inside image. Aren't they fun to look through?
There's so much. There's so much. Oh, it's our favorite thing. It's our favorite thing. Yeah,
It is our favorite thing. I'm
I got one for what? Who was on the cover? Crap, I'm trying to think of what it was. Which one I got? But yeah, it had a bunch of stuff, bunch of art that's just not around, not around.
Yeah.
That was never printed. Where it was literally just promotional art, black and white. Never got to the page. Like that one time you showed me the Blood Strike, which was what that Dan Fraga homage to a Barry Windsor Smith Daredevil cover, like not a famous cover. But he
No.
did a cool homage to that. And you're like, what the heck? I never saw that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
I like that stuff.
yeah. So yeah, so also and this I think works, of course, Luther saving the day essentially, but utilizing Candor technology, which is really wonderful.
You know what's crazy? This exact same thing they did on Harley Quinn this week. That's how they took care of
Oh, really?
Brainiac. They shrunk him down and put him in a glass bottle.
There you go. That's what you do.
There you go. It's just it's in his zeitgeist, I guess.
That's what you do. Yeah, I mean, like, I, he's using so many elements. Like, just look at all the city work back here. Which, again, if you're using programs, that's totally fine. He's doing it correctly, either tracing over it or photoshopping it in the right way, so it doesn't look too overt
Yeah, this doesn't bother me. I
at
don't
all.
care if my artist plops in a building. I do not care if you. I don't need you to sit there and draw a building and noodle at all the bricks. I mean, sometimes it's
Hmm.
fun. McFarlane would have fun doing it. Some artists want to do it, but sometimes it's good to just plop it in there to show them floating, to
The
show the
scale.
size. Yes, show
Yeah,
the scale.
yeah. I
That
think
doesn't bother me.
no. I mean, I think like it's funny when you think about like how Dark Comics the Marvel way, where you have like a vanishing point, and then Buscema is just literally just like doing that. And I just remember
Yeah,
seeing that, but it's not distracting like where I feel like sometimes you watch some of these animated, even the DC animated stuff where all the vehicles are so CGI, it just takes me out.
yeah,
Like, or when John Byrne first started discovering he can do this and did Wonder Woman, and he kept doing these weird things. Didn't he make Peter Parker when he did Chapter One? Then he was on Amazing Spider-Man for a bit. They're like, here's
yeah.
his and he had like a whole like electric model of Peter Parker's apartment. I was
Oh
like, with the
yeah,
steps. I
yeah,
was like, bleh. So yeah, if you're gonna do it, do it. I mean, he uses screens well, like this here. That's really fun. That texturing is really, really fun. Going back to like he's putting these screens here, so he's putting that stuff in. When we look at, let me kind of go back here because I imagine that he's putting this in. This is like a crackle. It almost looks like um when the projector like gets stuck and it burns the film like that. Just have that
yeah.
crackling there. Just really cool. I mean, again, I don't. No one's doing this level. and then having this acting, one, two, three, you're looking at four expressions. It's crazy. And then look, he's very proud of himself, but we know, and then just to have Superman just bloodied up, we know Jimmy's there. This was kind of funny too because he goes there and he's there for like a second, right? So Superman, like, so Clark goes there and then he comes back, right, as
Right.
Superman. But I think it's really cool. Like he gets like it, and because of course he would just disappear and come back. But Lois, it's Lois's fault, essentially because they're protecting her. Why doesn't she just have a ma well, to me, like masks are so weird. Like if you wore a mask, I'm like, oh, is Rob Superman or is Rob Batman? I'm like, yeah, I know what Rob's body looks like. Sure do. But like, you know
Well,
what I'm saying? Like it's not
yeah, no homo. No,
no
this guy,
homo.
no, seriously, that happened to me today. I don't think did I tell Kathy the story yet? No, I don't know. This so I'm delivering to this house, and this guy walks by, and he's just like he's doing his daily walk, and he's like, hey, you really lost a lot of weight, huh? And I don't know him, but I guess he's been watching me for years.
Oh, he's been
And
watching you for
I'm like,
years.
yeah, yeah, I'm down about 70 pounds. He's like, oh, you look good, man. He goes, no homo. Like,
Man, I haven't heard no homo in a long time. That's pretty funny. No homo.
I know.
We got to bring that back. Maybe not. I don't know.
Bring it back. I don't think so.
I don't think I
Don't-
can. Yeah, it's not
don't.
necessary to bring it back.
It's
So
not.
not
It's
really
just funny.
necessary.
But it was just funny. And he's like, yeah, I'm 49 years old and I'm trying to stay in shape. I'm like, yeah, I'm will be 49.
Correct. Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, stay in shape.
Look at that. Just good isolation situation going on. And look how good this is, man. And again, because Silver Banshee is Jimmy's girlfriend. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
that's of course there's going to be some trouble
Was she a
going
John
on.
Byrne creation? Was she, or
Uh
at the very least, was she
yeah,
post-crisis?
I think so. I think she could be a John Byrne. I was trying to figure out when I was looking at stuff this week because I grabbed on some of my comic hunting this week. I grabbed I wonder if it was Ed McGuinness, the Ed McGuinness Jeff Loeb. I want to know when they decided. I think it might be Ed McGuinness. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'll do some more research on it.
Spit it out. What can I help you
The
with?
purple eyes, like the Lois has purple eyes.
Oh,
I think that's where
yeah,
it's been that
we've
way. I
had
think
this
that's
discussion, but
probably when
never.
it started. But looking at that, I got to grab to like three or four McGinnis in the last week, which is pretty cool. I think I'm missing like three. I'm telling you right now, everything is $1 or less. It last weekend was bonkers. The crap that I got, unreal. So future shows, markdowns, a lot of them coming anyway. So yeah, then we get to see this. I like this Zod. This Zod looks really like mean. That's a really mean Zod. I don't think Mora Drew's Zod, correct? And this technically is the Zod the one nation under whatever the Neo Before Zod miniseries. That's supposed to take place and is real and is this continuity, correct?
Hold on a second. The cartoon gave it to her. In the 1990s, when the television series Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman began airing, Lois received a haircut that made her look more like the actress Terry Hatcher, and then her
Hmm.
eyes were typically violet to match her character on Superman the Animated Series. So I guess the animated series did it first, and then the TV show kind of picked up on it a little bit.
Hmm. That's interesting. And then they just, but comic book wise, so yeah, I guess it is the cartoon because the cartoon came out when?
94?
Yeah, so before, that's right. Yeah. That would have to be it. Yeah. Tight cartoon, man. That was really good. Really good. Really good pilot.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
think that pilot's
Bruce
good.
Timm really wanted to do that cartoon.
No, he didn't. No, but it's still, regardless, I think it's still just really clean in concept and all the workings of it.
Yeah, I
The
remember
World's
liking
Finest
it.
movie is really good. The World's Finest movie, I think, is excellent.
I remember liking it because it combined John Byrne Krypton with Silver Age Krypton,
Mm.
and I thought that was really actually pretty cool. Because as much as I love John Byrne Man of Steel, I prefer Silver Age. So like
I
getting a
don't like John Byrne
combination.
Man of Steel because I don't want Clark to be football hero. I like Clark to
No,
be how he is in the 77 movie that he's not allowed to show his powers. I think that makes more sense. I never liked that. I never liked that John Byrne. They don't really, I don't think anyone else really does it like that, but
no.
doesn't make
My
sense.
in the alternate reality that we create, John Byrne would have not have rebooted Superman. He just would have restarted it. That's all. That seemed
John
like a better
Byrne
way
would
to
have
go.
stayed on Squadron Supreme like he was supposed to.
He would have been Squad Supreme. He would have stayed on Hulk, which is a really good Incredible Hulk run,
Mhm.
and Alan Moore would have written Superman for a couple of years. That's a better world, Mark.
I know. I agree. Um,
So
I know you were looking for that thing, but did you hear what I asked? Like, did you read that Neil before Zod, the Casey mini?
yeah,
Was that good? Like, I feel like that miniseries, and they had like a House of L miniseries that Oming drew, which I was waiting for it to complete, and I was going to read it,
I like that.
and I've
I like the
just
House of
didn't
L
read it.
series. I like the House of L series by Oeming. That was good.
Hmm.
Um, the Zod comic it was pretty good. The kids comic was okay, because it was Zod's son and maybe Sinestro's son. We don't really know, but I think
Oh, that's
LaFuente
right.
drew it, so it looked really nice.
Yeah, that's right. There was like the Super Sons, the
Yeah,
opposite Super Sons.
the evil Super Sons.
Yeah. So,
This ending is crazy
yeah.
because what a spoiler! Like I haven't told anyone about this ending, so now everyone can see it. So it's the evil Legion of Superheroes from the Absolute World, and I guess it's the original Silver Age guys that have been made evil. It's the original Silver Age Legion as
Right.
adults.
Right. Yeah, I this was surprised. At first, I thought it was just going to be. I thought it was like the Time Masters. When I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, is that Rip Hunter?" I was like, "No." And then I looked deeper. I was like, "Oh crap!" Like I just think it's like it's an amazing reveal. And
Yeah.
again, I want to see the designs. Like, is that the next issue? Well, this says to be continued this summer. And then so next month's going to just be probably just a rest issue, which is fine. Again. They still did all the action up front here. But yeah, I feel like Williamson is really, 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 really has it here, and I think that it's just great. I mean,
We've
this is really, really good.
we've been waiting for Legion to come back, and if you're going to bring them back as a Legion of villains, yeah, I'll take that.
So yeah, so this is again, this is probably going to be whatever they're going to be doing down the line, and then having the absolute, and then the universe is coming because they got the symbols
Listen,
on it.
if
And
you need a formation of the Justice League, what better reason than an evil Legion?
hmm, God, who should write Legion? Maybe Williamson should write Legion. I don't know. I
What are
don't
you
know
talking
much.
about?
I don't know.
Are you
I
talking
don't
about
know.
real Legion or Absolute Legion? Or
Well, I
yes,
mean, I think after, we don't really understand what's going to happen with Absolute. Is it going to be forever? Like we know that Snyder re-upped and he's doing at least 24 issues, at least him, and that's somewhat committed. He re-upped and re-signed. So I don't know, but like, is that going to go forever? The
as
Ultimate
long as this,
Universe they folded in,
you
like,
know what?
is
When
this
people
gonna?
get bored of it, at some point, people will get bored of it. And then they'll be like, why are you telling these stories? You could just tell them in the regular DC Comics, which is what we all said about the Ultimate books.
Right.
There's a point where you get to where it's just retreading the ground that's already been done by Marvel. Like if you're not doing it weird and differently, people are going to get bored by it. So I don't
Yeah.
know. They got a solid 3 years of like, I think fandom just accepting what they do. But I think you're going to find the non three main books. I don't think they're going to carry anything. I don't think the
Hmm.
Green Lantern book's going to do great. I don't think the Flash book's going to sell well. I mean,
No.
it'll start off higher than regular Flash, and it might even stay higher than. I don't know anyone who's really reading the Flash comic,
I
which
tried a few times. It's very sciencey. It's Cy Spurrier's doing a very science. I also hate I don't like the costume. I don't like the extra pieces on the costume. It's like it looks like a mech suit. I don't really like that. I don't want that in my Flash.
no, because the power comes
Um,
from within, not from the mech.
Comes from within, right?
Comes from the Force. The Speed Force.
Hush variant cover as Kara Andrews. I gotta look for that. I haven't seen that one online. Gotta look for that one. Look
Yeah,
at that.
man. Yeah, it's cool.
Crackles.
Lightning. Is he Lightning Lord or Lightning Lad?
See, again, I don't know, like, because, like, how much are you doing here, man? Like, how much is this is him? I imagine all that is. And then he's working with Sanchez, and Sanchez picks it up, and then does the ambient light around it. But all that stuff is that's in Procreate. You can basically get a wand and do that. Get a wand like this and you do that. So
It's very weird. The little circles around the lightning bolts. They're very much in a grid pattern.
yeah, it's a program. You just literally you just use it as like a paintbrush. You do your Apple Pencil. So
Right.
I get what he's doing. Because I would play with screens. It's basically almost doing like Zipatone. You can go in Procreate and almost do like you can probably make a Zipatone book in Procreate with the different screens. People sell different packs, art packs.
Gotcha.
So that's pretty cool. So I see that, but I mean this person's I think he's one of the only. I think some of the X-Men guys. I'm trying to think of who's doing that. Neto Diaz potentially. Just a lot of this stuff, or Juan Figueri as well. I think they're doing a lot of digital.
I think for
Um,
DC, it's like Superman all around is like one of their best books. Detective, I think, is all around one of their best
mhm.
books. What else do you think? Like, I think the money's being put into those books, writing, drawing, coloring.
Yeah, it was World's Finest for a bit, but then they basically pulled that over to Justice League Unlimited.
Right, right. And World's Vine is still fine. It's still good, but it's not in the top five. Like, I feel like Wonder Woman's. I go up and down with Tom King. Like, I think his Wonder Woman run last couple issues have been better. I don't know if you're reading Wonder Woman or not.
I can't do it. I have it all.
No,
I
there's
just
there's definite reasons to dislike it. There's reasons to hate it. He does the same thing. Like his Black Canary book. I can't stand it because I know exactly where it's going, and it just bugs the hell out of me. He's just doing the Quiet Man in a way,
yeah.
or he's doing like you didn't read Mark Miller's Empress, did you?
I don't remember. That was the Copieux.
No, it was Stuart Immonen. He actually did it for Marvel Icon first.
Oh, I think so. I may have read that.
I don't want to spoil it for people, but it's got a twist about Empress in the
Hmm.
last issue, and you're like, what? And that's what I feel like is going to happen with Black Canary.
Yeah,
All
but it's.
right,
I feel like it's just going to be there. And it's not going to do anything. So
it's not going to do anything. Like his Jenny Sparks miniseries, I think sucked.
yeah,
It's
I
just
didn't.
her in a bar with Captain Adam talking, and he's kind of Dr. Manhattan. He's kind of crazy. He can do everything, and it's just not good.
Yeah.
Just not good. And I don't like the way the artist kept drawing Jenny Sparks with a cigarette in her mouth. It always looked weird. Like Tom King has this thing about making people smoke. Like it's all over like
Hmm.
his Adam Strange miniseries. It's all over.
Oh yeah.
It's all over his Gotham book. He just I guess he feels it makes books look more pulp noir-ish, like the old movies, because everyone would smoke back then, and it doesn't look the same in comics. Doesn't look as good.
It only looks good. Yeah, it looks good when it's Wolverine and it's a cigar and it's like like that's it. Like it's got a it.
Wolverine
Uh,
cigar, Ben
uh,
Grimm cigar, Nick
Adam
Fury
Kubert.
cigar,
Yeah.
Gambit cigarette. That's about it.
Hmm.
The worst is like a McFarlane cigarette because it's always like a Canadian rolled little joint looking like you know roach by the time they're smoking. Like he's drawn it multiple times. It's always like the worst looking. He's the
Yeah,
worst at
it's
drawing
bad.
cigarettes.
It's bad. Um,
So yeah, Joe.
yeah, yeah. So again, it's funny, like just looking at this, and this is like new art. Well, and, Andy Cooper is just, this is all on the page. Like that's all like ridiculously completely on the page.
Yeah,
No
this
screens,
is
no, nothing. That's just line and crosshatch, line and crosshatch. Yeah, this is almost like a scribble marker right here, which is kind of neat. Uh, yeah, still great.
that's hilarious. I didn't even
The
look at those
right
chopper blades.
Yeah, the right. It's the right. He might have had pencil like lines for us, but is that Laura Dupuy or Laura Martin? I guess.
I don't know.
But the reason why this is relevant is this is the first time that we've seen Andrew Cronky, which I can actually see my Bloodrick print from here. I could
Right.
see my house from here,
Because Andrew Cronky does Bloodrick for Image, which
which
was
is
a
his only
phenomenal.
comic book. Like it's his only, he had a demo. He had an issue one that he sold at cons years ago in black and white, and then I don't know how it got to Image, but they picked it up and then he colored it himself.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
you
like
know,
Conan meets To Build a Fire, the short story,
mm,
which
right,
I read in high school. A lot of people read in high school.
right. I'm
So
just
so when Mark and I saw that he was drawing G.I. Joe, we're both like, we're so excited about this. Is anybody else excited about this? We're excited about this.
Yeah, it's funny because we it was our first person that we went to. I wanted because I wrote to him 2 days before Baltimore, and I said, "Hey, I see you have this print that you had an Ed Piskor Bloodrick print that he sold at like an Ed Piskor con
Right.
after his passing." And I asked him, I was like, "Do you have any more of these?" He's like, "I think so." He's like, "I'll pack some. Just ask me. I'm not going to put them out." So like our first stop on Saturday was like we're going right there. I'm gonna maybe put him out, or someone else asked him for it, and they're all gone. So I bought two prints from him. I had my number one, I think, or I might have bought another number one. He signed it. I think DeLuca has my number one. I think when I got, I was like, hey, you got to read this. I think he has my number one, but whatever.
Uh-oh. It's gonna
Um,
it's gonna steal it.
that's fine. He's got a couple of things signed, no problem.
DeLuca.
Um, so yeah, I'm pretty sure DeLuca has my number one, but I like that came out through Image, and now I like because again, if you work for Skybound, Skybound is very loyal to you. You got Jason Howard, Ryan Otley, Daniel Warren Johnson. So now that he's in here in the mix, Paul Pelletier now is in the Skybound mix.
Yeah.
Stay in the mix. We already knew. So when this happened, I was like, oh wow, that's really fun. And then he has a one shot coming out, Roadblock, which is my favorite character. Is my favorite. That's my favorite GI Joe character. So, which is not too.
They should go
Uh,
for a Liefeld cover on that roadblock. They're not, but they should.
this was a real shift for me, and this reminded me a little bit more of Kev Walker. I don't know because again, Bloodrick is so heavy, pencils, charcoal. Like we even asked him like how does he draw it, and he's like I do some cleanup in Photoshop, but a lot of it's just pencil.
Yes, but that's a whole book of a dude in the snow on mountains.
Yeah. So I was like, oh,
This
this guy can draw
is
buildings. Like, I mean, did he have to
this is
audition for this? How did he get
this is
this job?
a whole port. There's ships and docks and buildings and oil uh, holders, the
Yeah, I
big
don't know
tanks.
how he
Like
got
this
this
is
job though. I mean, like, sorry, I have to feed my cat. Put this on
Mm.
camera. I'm gonna riveting
riveting. This is
riveting
entertainment, folks.
because it's got to be on my desk, right? I have to have the extra. That makes sense. You
You
know,
know, do
that
they
makes
have
sense.
other bowls downstairs? Do
They
they
do.
just
Yeah, they're very spoiled.
have a
Very,
bowl in
very
your
spoiled.
bedroom?
Very, very spoiled. But yeah, that's what I mean. Is like, did he have to audition for this? Like, I don't really know. Like, it's
They're
yeah,
probably like, "Hey, can you draw the city?" He's like,
why would you think he could
"Yes."
do that? Oh yeah, okay, like why? Like that's what I mean is how did this come about? So yeah, we should see if we can. He might remember us. I don't know. I mean, we could show us and show. We were there. We talked to him for 20 minutes. I think. We went all over the place. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff. Super nice guy. Was happy he had a real good booth to himself. I think he was doing some sketches later on. But yeah, got one of them. I'm looking at the red. Looks great. Looks great in that. It's like an 11 by 14, I think.
Yeah,
Um, but
yeah.
yeah, really solid debut.
I've been enjoying this series. Like, and I did not read the IDW run.
No, yeah, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it might be this good. We don't really know. This felt a little dangerous. I felt a lot of danger in this because again, this is a dirty book, man. It's behind enemy lines, and this person is going through a lot of different things. But I guess that she's going to join G.I. Joe, and that's fine. You
Gojo.
know. Dojo? Yeah, super good. So, but yeah, I was surprised. The coloring has been excellent on this book with the it's a very distinct coloring style. I was happy to get some Roadblock preview. So this is kind of almost like a preview for his Roadblock one shot, which I can't wait to read when that comes out. Jump right into the X-Men. I love this
The
cover.
the best of
X-Men,
the X
X-Men.
books currently.
This is the
Mark and
best.
I,
Yeah, hands down.
we've read them all, and this is the one that's been the most solid since.
Yeah, I feel like there should be. One, well, Uncanny's fine, but they keep not exactly giving you the team. This from issue one has been this team,
This team
Cyclops,
fighting together,
Magic,
talking shit on
Juggernaut.
people. Like,
Yeah, to the
great.
point where that the last 2.5 issues of Amazing Spider-Man have been this team, like almost completely. The one we'll get
Yeah.
into that later. But again,
Do we have to?
I'm not mad. This is a Stegman cover. I don't know if Stegman's coming back, but again, I'm not mad because we really like this guy. We really like Nether
You
Diaz.
know,
Um,
it's weird because we were just saying how like McGinnis disappeared off Spider-Man. You know, he's coming back for like the last issue, but he disappeared from Spider-Man. But he's not on the new launch. You know,
mhm.
he disappeared off this book. It seems like some of the A-list artists are disappearing. Do they have special things lined up? Are these the artists that are going to be doing the Marvel versus DC stuff? Or are they doing, whatever the next
I
major Marvel storyline is?
I feel the Marvel DC stuff is like so in the infancy. I don't think there's anything going
Yeah, but
on with
why
that.
isn't Stegman doing more? He can do
Well,
monthly.
he's writing, isn't he writing? He's writing a book for Distillery? Is that right? Is that Stegman?
Yeah. Oh, issue 2 came out of that this week.
Yeah,
Missionary number 2 with
yeah. I only
that's
ever
a
read the Ashcan for that because they put that Ashcan out for free online, a
yeah, they put
digital
the Ashcan
Ashcan.
out. Yeah. Distillery. They're good, man. Yeah, I liked it. It's kind of very, the demon gets inside the dude. So it's like a mixture of like you've kind of seen that stuff before between Ghost Rider or McFarlane's Haunt,
Hmm. Oh,
McFarlane,
right, right.
Kirkman, Otley.
And
That's funny.
McFarlane inks, McFarlane heavy inks. Um, I
Yeah, that
guess
book, it's funny. That book was laid out by Capullo, then penciled by Otley, and then inked by McFarlane. Like,
right, right.
that's a lot of,
And then it
there's,
failed, and then it didn't sell. Like so weird. Or
it's,
maybe it
it
was
was,
only planned to be X amount of issues.
well, Otley wanted to leave. Otley didn't want to do the book because he's like, I got a lot to do with Invincible. And Kirk was like, come on, just do like the first six. And then, like, come on, we'll get Capullo to lay it out. So then Capullo takes over
Oh, that's right.
the rest of Kirkman's run. And what's crazy is that was the first time Capullo had penciled anything since he had left Spawn like 10 years earlier. Like we had not seen any new Capullo, with the exception of the Spider-Man Jay Leno crossover. Jay Leno, remember that, everyone. Jay Leno and
Oh
Spider-Man
my
met in a
God.
Greg Capullo backup story. It's
Is
like
that
three-part
right?
backup story.
Why do I not remember that at all?
No, it's real, dude. It's creepy.
Ugh.
You think Capullo drawing worms coming out of Spawn's head's creepy. Wait do you see him draw Jay Leno?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Um, I guess what was confusing, and I don't think I have the page where it referenced
Oh,
it.
I feel like
Oh
Ron
wait,
Zimmerman wrote it
there
too,
it is.
Mark.
Oh gosh,
So
yeah,
it's like real cringy. Like he would inject the worst humor
yeah. His
in
stuff was
comics.
real cringy. He had a book that was a Spider-Man. Was it Get Craven? I think he did a Rawhide Kid too. I think he
His
did like a
Rawhide Kid,
newer.
he made him real gay, which nobody had really seen that in the character. So he did that. But then he
It
did,
was for headlines. It was all a stunt.
yes,
You know,
he did a Spider-Man one
no one
shot
cared about.
where one of the producers of The Simpsons, I guess he's friends with him, so he put him in there. He's like, this guy could buy and sell everyone at this table. And you're like, who is this? That's not even like the Simpsons producer I know.
Right, it's not Sam Simon.
Maybe.
It wasn't Sam. I don't think so.
And
I
that
think
wasn't, no, it
no,
was like
it
the
was
other
someone
guy.
else further away from
Um,
Sam Simon.
and then
Sam Simon's
he
important.
did Ultimate Adventures with drawn by Duncan Fegredo, and that was probably the best thing he wrote.
It was the Batman and Robin analog.
It's just a Batman and Robin analog, yeah, in the Ultimate
Correct.
Universe. His Get Craven series was like, all right, yeah, you know a lot about Hollywood, cool. But like the idea of the story is preposterous.
Right. Right.
Wasn't
I
written that bad.
Why do I not remember that there was a miniseries? Like there was an Alpha Flight miniseries like 2 years ago. I did. Was that just completely bored on that? I feel like I would have read that. I feel like I would have at least checked that out or glanced at it or something I read on the Marvel app. I didn't reference it, but at least it's a relatively new reference because I feel like a lot of times that they're throwing in plot lines and it's like 20 years ago.
What's important is that they put the date, so when you go on the Marvel app, you can
Yeah.
go Alpha Flight 2023. Was it
Good
Jed
job,
MacKay?
Tom. This is the first time I've seen this too
It's
in
been
a
a while.
while.
No, we used to live and die by that. We
This
used to
is
be like,
good
all
Tom
right,
Brevoort.
That's what it's better than, people think they're gonna have to relaunch the whole X-Men line because this was a failure to launch.
They're canceling at least three, at least three books, which but yeah, so again, Nether Diaz, excellent.
Another,
Uh,
yeah, he is coming in doing his best. He's not mimicking Stegman, but he's mimicking the feel of Stegman.
yeah, I feel like this is just a super super fun book. Look at that, it's just
No,
bloody.
this page is incredible.
Who is?
I
I
love it.
don't know who this character is. I guess this character may have been introduced.
It's
It seemed like
I think it's
she
a
may have been
mutated.
introduced.
I think it's a mutated version of Marina or
Okay,
Marina.
right, right, right.
I think it's Marina, who's like a John Byrne. Well, they're all John Byrne creations, right?
Mhm. John Byrne, John Byrne.
I know, man. It's a
What you
John Byrne
gonna
episode,
do?
dude.
I know.
Feel the burn.
Starblood.
I did you? Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, no.
Boom,
Okay,
Starblood.
doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Starblood.
Starblood is our tentative title for our reviews show, which
Yeah,
is Starman and Youngblood.
yeah.
So
We wanted to like pick like we wanted to pick two books that couldn't be more different from each other, but
right,
two books that
right.
you and I love, like with our full
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hearts.
Yeah,
So we're like
that's funny.
Starblood.
Starblood, baby.
It's
Can't
Starman. It's Youngblood.
You can't count Starblood. Um, yeah, just I like having like a full page, full fun page, big page reveal. Magic's excellent in this. Quentin Quire still kind of doing the same. He's got to get out of the Blackbird. I feel like all he does now is just kind of he's in the Blackbird. He gets
Yeah.
him around, which is I guess correct, but um, we got a good team shot here going. I like the inks. It's chunk. This looks a little bit like it's funny. Like look at that's like a little like new Panosian, right? It's like new Dan Panosian.
The inks look really weird. Like all the
This one looks
eyes
a
look
little
weird.
different. Yeah, this one it's weird. Like from this. So I'm not sure if this seems
They're
like
like
over rendered for
the
some
eyes
reason.
look wonky. Yeah, there's something
Oh yeah,
not
that one
right
right
there.
there.
I'm
Yeah,
glad
I don't know.
glad she had time to like sit down and pose. It's like, oh, hold on, everyone. While we're sitting there looking badass, let me. All right, I'm ready. All right, I'm
Yeah,
ready.
I
Go.
wonder if there might have been some extra anchors on it or something. These last few pages don't look the same. They don't look the same as some of the earlier ones. It's really over rendered. It's really heavily, that it's almost like a live say. It's a live say ink. Live say.
Yo, Live Say popped up out of nowhere on the Live Photo Facebook page. He liked one of my things, and somebody else like, oh,
Oh
Live
really?
Say is the reason I got into Youngblood or something. Like, I'm like, what? Why does Live
Why would it
Say?
be live say?
I don't think he inked
Exactly.
anything. Maybe he's a fan. Maybe he's like, hey, check out this book.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I like Live Say. I met him in Baltimore in the past. He's a
Oh
pretty cool
really?
guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's funny.
I think he's one of us. I think he's like a straight up '90s head.
That's a weird like reference. I'm like that inks looks like that. Like you know what I mean? Like if anyone, it's a
Yeah, it's weird that
pretty in
you bring
joke.
him up. It's weird that you bring him up, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. I literally was
Right.
just talking about him like yesterday. Just saw something
He's
about
in
him
the
yesterday.
ether. Lives is in the ether.
He is.
I only put this in because I think this is funny. As NYX is canceled, X Factor's canceled, X Force is canceled. So you have one more issue after this. You have two more issues after X Factor. You have one more issue of this. So like the penultimate issue of your finale. Like we don't even know if they were told that they have like an issue left. Like there's no wrap up time. Like you're just done. And also,
Hey,
when we talked about this being news, this is bad news because where's our alpha? What are you
yes.
doing?
So no, and
You can
also,
have a $4 or $5 book you could sell right over here. X Manhunt Alpha sounds good. X Manhunt
so
Alpha that sounds
first
good.
off, X-Man Hunt is like a horrible blech,
X
word
Manhunt.
vomit. X-Man Hunt.
It's one man.
So X-Man
Xavier.
Hunt Omega #1. Why do you got to call it #1? Can't it just be X-Man Hunt Omega?
It also
Like
lists its man.
the number one is useless. We know it's a #1. There's not going to be a #2. Otherwise, it wouldn't be an Omega.
Omega number two.
Omega #2.
Unless it's Judgment Day. Judgment Day. Alpha
Oh yeah,
Omega
they messed that up.
three.
3.
Three. Which I can't find three. I can't find it. I
You
can't
gotta get
find
it.
three. Oh yeah, so that's me crossing it off. And I don't know how long Storm's gonna last.
I'm
You
surprised
know?
it lasts this long.
Uncanny, sure. X-Men, sure. Exceptional X-Men. I think
I don't think that's long
that
for the
is
world either.
nah. No, I can't imagine the sales on that thing is or anything. So yeah, and again, Uncanny they're still fighting. They're still they have like a new five uncanny team. They have the new five, the people that
Right.
they brought in, and
The new
the
mutants,
new mutants, right? So that you could have a new mutants
the
book.
Neo mutants.
Storm doesn't need her own book. Emma Stone. Emma Frost is getting her own book for some reason.
But she's also the lead of Exceptional X-Men, so it's like,
Yeah, I'm just
oh,
exactly. We
nice.
don't need two of that. So, um,
Alex
again,
Corley. That's a
yeah,
nice cover, dude.
fantastic. Alex Orley worked on
Spit it
the
out, boy.
96. He worked on the covers, I think, even in 1996 on for the Marvel book. I don't know if he did the
Did
interiors. I want to say Jeff Esherwood did the interiors on that,
he?
but he did
He
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 did
did
covers a
a
long time
he
ago.
did a Lobo miniseries that looks really good. And time to hit you in the head, Mark. What was his image comic? What was his creator-owned
Oh
image
man,
comic?
oof! It's some big guy. It's a big guy.
It is a big
It's
guy.
it's a big guy. I can't think of what it
It's Sharky, the bounty hunter, the bounty hunter.
is. Oh man. Oh boy. I think this is, and again,
I
this
think
is
he had
how
like, I
good.
think he had sunglasses on, maybe a leather vest, guns
Yeah, this
pumping.
this is how good like scans and stuff are. Like just like kind of like push in on this. Like, is this a can? Like we're literally looking at like oil on canvas, and you can scan a canvas, right? I mean,
Yes, you can scan a
that's
canvas.
I know, but like look, I mean, how that's how good scanners are though. Like look how cool you're seeing the canvas. You're
Well, hold up.
seeing that pull
How is
through.
this? How is this an American wolf, an East Asian?
It's Conan, baby.
I know.
Oh,
And then I was gonna go an Indonesia
no,
Komodo
it's
monitor
Spoilers
lizard.
because this is a person. Spoilers.
But
We'll get to
yeah,
it.
which one?
Uh, this person. That's a person. It turns into
The
that.
Jaguar looking
Yeah, yeah,
thing.
turns into that. So there was Roy Thomas had a interview somewhere
Oh
this
my
week, and
God!
he talked
Look
about.
how Buscema that looks.
Yeah, he talked about Roberto Del Toro did. I'm trying
Oh
to
yeah,
think
we
what
talked about this
book.
last time. We talked about him doing like a Buscema thing.
Yeah, it's evolving, but like there's first off, I think I want to say I almost kind of like screenshot and zoomed in on almost every page of this book. This was like chunky. This was like 45 pages long. And again, Roy Thomas, I've been at odds with this last year because he somehow just decided he's now a co-creator Wolverine conveniently
Yeah,
after Len Wein dies, even though there are
and
multiple
Herb Trimpe
interviews.
and John Romita Sr. He waited for all three of them to die. The three people most, and Dave Cockrum.
I don't know who did it. I want to say if I want to say that some website had kind of all the quotes from the multiple Roy Thomas interviews of him saying like I don't know, I just said it or I just did this or like talking about his minor role and now it's now not a minor role.
Yeah, his role was
So
even less minor because Cockrum came to him first with it.
I hate it. So however, he's written 600, 700 issues of Conan between Savage Sword and one shots or mini series, and
Doesn't
so
it bug you when he's like, "Yeah," he's like, "I wasn't even that big of a Conan fan, but I knew
he
I had
was.
to."
That's a line. He was like he went
Oh,
after the
really?
license. Yeah, he went after. That's a good story of him going after the license. Like that they had so much money, he put in an extra $50 to get the license. The license for Conan was $150, and he was given
An issue?
$100 by Marvel just to initially license
Okay.
it for that, and then there was something. You're right. Then there was some type of like payout later, but that's like essentially Conan one is what a lot of people consider the first Bronze Age book, 1970. Like that's the pinnacle right there. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, this is fantastic, and I kind of just left this in here because I love the way Starkings is just honoring this lettering
Now,
style, the Joe Rosen lettering
how
style.
didn't Conan in the pulps actually look a little different?
Yeah, there's actually right. This is Marvel's essentially. This is like Marvel's Conan
Right.
because they do a different Conan like in I think Dark Horse does a good job on their Conan, and then Brian Wood did the young Conan with Becky Cloonan, which I thought was also excellent. Great run. That was a
Is he
sad run because I think that Marvel got that license and it was like, hey, buddy, you got like 15 issues. There you go. Oh, you
you
want
know
to do Star Wars? Because he did two books
Yeah, I know.
that were canceled. He's like, here you go. You want
Because
Star Wars? Great.
yeah. You go. By the
Carlos
way,
Diana
Marvel just got the
canceled.
license, so canceled. His Star Wars run's pretty good because
It's good. Yeah.
it's a post New Hope movie, and it was really good. And then Marvel's like, "Hey, we got the license. Guess what we're doing? We're doing post New Hope comics." We're like, "Oh, that's exactly what Brian Wood just did.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
exactly." I'm not going to
yeah,
argue which is better because I think Marvel started off with what Jason Aaron, Cassidy, and then
yeah,
Inman. Those are
yeah,
really good. Those are really strong books.
yeah. I think Mayhew did a couple issues which are like
Peter
heavily
Mayhew, he was in every
used.
movie.
Mike Mayhew, Mike
Oh,
Um, yeah, I feel like when like I zoomed in a little bit, I feel like with Delator, and I want to say he went to the Kubert School. I feel like he
I was
might
going to
have
say
went
this
to the
looks
Kubert
very Joe
School.
Kubertish.
Yeah, that's if you've never read the Kubert Tarzans, there's actually good digital versions of them up for that are recolored, good, well recolored that Dark Horse did a few years back. There's 3 volumes. Um, but yeah, they had a lot of things that they got licenses for a couple years ago. I don't even think they have a license for Tarzan anymore. But yeah, this is just I zoomed in on a few different panels here where I feel like this inking is more feathered like Joe Kubert. Again, can't complain. Now this feels very Buscema because of again, pretty much every splash page of Conan has him in a bar, him in a brothel, and everyone's doing stuff.
What else
Everyone's
is there in life,
faces,
Mark?
right? Like everyone's faces, they're all doing different specific things. It's really great. Like the acting's
I
all
feel
really good.
some of
So,
the inking's real funny.
ooh,
It's like he's just like taking a marker to stuff. Like it
just
gets real
do it,
fine,
man.
and then it
Go
gets
nuts. Right.
yeah,
Well, that's the thing is again, like scanning is so prevalent here. You can see the pencil, you can see the pencil marks.
yeah.
Um, and you can
But it
strip it
works.
away or not.
It
Yeah,
works
all
for
of
a
it's
Conan comic.
even like look at this. Like just it's
You know,
all dark and negative.
when I was first getting into comics, as you know, I was into magazines before I was really into comics, and I had more Conan magazines than I had Conan comics for a long time. So I
Mm.
was very used to the Mads, the Crack, the Conans, the Creepies, the Eries, just shading, the pencil shadings, the gray tones. Marvel did less gray toning than the other companies.
Yeah, what's funny about the difference between Conan, Savage Sword of Conan and Conan Saga, they take out the tones. They'll either they had them or initially. Like there's a couple Conan Saga. I'm like I've seen this before, and it's literally something I've seen in Savage Sword, but they might have had like too much toning, and I kind
Oh
of you
wow,
can see that sometimes because it does
but
that
that
does
just means they
involve
were printing it cheaper.
probably yeah more than likely. But these are my favorite Conans where there's just some type of like monster element. Again, this literally had every single thing you would like. This is literally one of the best Conan. This feels
Literally,
exactly like a Savage Sword of Conan, and then
I teach my girls to not say literally.
splits in the middle, and it becomes like a different story. It's almost two different stories inside. It is not, but I also put this page in again because then you're doing a
Right.
flashback in super like thin line or charcoal almost. Like look at that, it's almost charcoal here. Um, Conan's gonna get some.
Good
Everybody's
for
looking
Conan.
at you. Creepy. Look at this, dude. Look how good this page is. That's insane. That's insane. And then have the negative space here. Again, just this is just a masterclass all
I know.
around.
I gotta
Look at
come
this,
over
dude.
and borrow all your Conan books so I can read them in order.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna have a big party soon. Big party. Everybody can
Big,
come and look
big
at my
party.
new office slash archive. Anyone want to read? Like I think I put that in the
Oh,
chat this week. Like I have a complete Marvel UK. Does anyone on Earth have a complete Marvel UK run besides Paul Neary, who's just passed? Right? Like no,
probably. Isn't
no
Brian Hitch
one.
a pretty hardcore collector?
I don't know. I'll have to write to him. Be like, hey, do you have? You know what? I should write to him because he recently on Instagram says he found like a big stack of stuff from like early. I was like, oh, can I have some Mystech Wars original art? He says he's going to put it up, but nothing's been on the site. Nothing's been on there. So
You got to stay on these people because I'm horrible with like sending people stuff all the time too. And it's important because these guys like, oh, I should put that up there. There's an unpublished page from Namor, I think 50. There's a double page spread of like Namor and Invisible Woman in bed together,
oh yeah,
and
so Jeff
by
Isherwood, right?
Jeff Esherwood, And
Yep.
Marvel's like, you got to take that out. Like, we're not putting that in the comic. So they just took it out. And then
They
how the
just took it
comic book,
out and they didn't put extra pages.
yeah.
It was
And
like a
he's like,
short issue.
yeah, they just like took out the double page spread. He's like, he's like, I should post that. I'm like, yes, you should.
Yeah, I
Don't tell
liked
the
it.
story and then not like show us it.
Yeah, I liked his 95. He did a mini in 95. It's awesome. He did like when they canceled Conan the Barbarian, then they had like the Castellini 3 issue, and then Steve Lieber did some, and then there's two different Jeff Escherwoods. Just really really good. And Jeff Escherwood, I featured that on 2 issues ago. He had a Jason Aaron story. It was just excellent. But yeah, here we go. So like again, we talk a lot about the textures, and then now we're in this, so he's doing like what, like a watercolor papering here, like paste in, or I don't know, just crazy good. So that story was fantastic, really really wonderful. The next bit, this is actually like a short story. So Patrick Zurcher's been and he's going to be doing the Solomon Kane book that's coming out. He's had a few stories
Right.
in here, black and white. I'm trying to think if he I don't think he did anything here. I think he might have done 1 or 2 issues or 3 issues at Marvel. But this is a character. This is a short story. I think this is a short story in like a creepy or I'm sorry, like Weird Tales or something. I never saw this character. I believe this is the first appearance of him in print like this. Breckenridge Elkin. So
It's an awesome name.
yeah, which is funny because like the last issue, and this is drawn by, I don't know who this person is. Juan. I think this is the first time I've ever seen this person's art, um, but just really fun. Again, in the same vein.
I love it.
A lot of tones, great lettering. Is this also Starking's lettering? Tyler Smith, yeah. So again, feels very, very much like Joe Rosen. Um, yeah, just short. I think this is every page. I think it's only like 4 or 5 pages long. But yeah, just gross and dirty. But this is the same character here. Uh, Yeah, Breckenridge, and that's so yeah, the 12th labor of Breckenridge Elkins, and then Stuart Sager pin up there, which is awesome. Again, I may have to. I
Yeah.
wanted to
I
get
like
these in
Stuart Sager.
trades, but I don't know if I should just be buying these. Like these,
I
that's so much value. It's like I
I
think they're
met him.
9.99. They're like almost mini trades. Like that's ridiculous.
I
That's
met
so
Stuart when he was
much.
like
Oh, really?
20 years ago. I met him. Oh, yeah, he was
Oh,
like a
that's
kid,
crazy.
and he was doing like full page commissions for like $20. Um, I gotta show you his Hulk. He drew me a Hulk face that's just incredible. I'm like, this kid's got to be something.
Oh, I had no idea that you knew who that was.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know, no.
I think he was
That's
local to
crazy.
the area. I think he was like because I always see him in Philly.
Wow. Jersey baby. Maybe he's a
I
Jersey
know.
boy.
And he had his
Very
own
cool.
comic. What the hell? It was like Fear of the Dark or The Dark or something. It was like he just self-published his comic and like
Hmm.
nobody knew who he was.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's weird that he has a pinup, and I made a point to show it, and so
We
um
we go in deep with this stuff, Mark.
I know, right? Yeah, it's crazy. So this is kind of fun too. Like this looks so much like an
Corbin,
old yeah, Corbin, or
especially the faces.
probably looser than Jusco. It's a little more painterly than Jusco's, cleaner than this, but just really fun. So I mean the Horley I think is a little bit better, so I would probably grab the Horley. I'd grab that Horley.
That's right.
Um, so here we go. Here's the confusing one. So again, we're not trying to be negative this week, right? Not trying to be
No,
negative, but
no, we're
this
not
is
trying to
Amazing
be.
Spider-Man 68 point deaths. Now you mentioned just a minute or two ago that X-Men Omega has a number one. Why on earth isn't this just the Eight Deaths of Spider-Man X-Men number one, or the Eight Deaths of Spider-Man Juggernaut one shot? Because essentially this entire book is Juggernaut. It's Juggernaut. Everyone's fighting Juggernaut. It's almost like it's
Like
like a
we
capture
get
the
it.
flag.
I don't know why they needed any point deaths at all. It just seems like, it is the storyline sucks.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
this, let me just start off with this being negative. I was excited the first issue. It looked really good. McGinnis artwork, it was like just looked cool. I'm like, you know what? If you can keep this to how many parts was it originally supposed to be? Six or eight?
I think it was supposed to be eight, and
See, we
then
say eight
now it
because
just
it's eight
is
deaths.
10,
But I
and
was
then there's
10.
like two extra one shots, so it's like 12. It's like a lot. It's too many.
it's too many. Listen, this storyline isn't so great that you needed this many extra issues. Like this story would have done better, maybe had you got it down to 6 to 8 issues. Keep it a tight 8. Like
Give me that tight
less
eight.
is less is more. We need that.
I
And
just, yeah,
we didn't need a Juggernaut issue. I mean, part of the story is important. You do need some Juggernaut interference. If you're going to tell stories of Sidarok and his 8 kids or
correct.
whatever,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, Juggernaut should be involved. But I feel like they should have planned it out better. Or I don't know, maybe had the writer write the whole thing. Like, why didn't you get Nicolas Gage to co-write it with you?
Nicolas
He's the
Cage.
best pitch hitter. Is it Nicholas?
Christos Cage.
Christos Gage.
Nicolas
Christos
Cage.
Christos Gage is the best pitch hitter in comics. Like
That's correct. Yeah.
because he's professional. He's a Law and Order guy. He's like, I just pump shit out. I just pump, I pump, I pump. You know? And Slott utilized him so much.
I'm
So why wouldn't if Joe Kelly just use him? The guy can
Yeah.
write.
I'm
And
trying
he's
to
a good
think.
writer.
Did Justine Ireland do the other point deaths, or that was somebody else?
Yes. Yes, I
That
think
was the
she
Kev Walker one. That one I liked. That one I thought was pretty great.
yeah. But it sounds like a story that you could have put within the confines of the 8 issues.
Yeah, you could have sprinkled that through. This it makes no sense. And this and I even show at the end of this book where they have in some of the various books they've been promoting this book. This is the triumphant return of Mark Buckingham to to Spider-Man because
To
he
Spider-Man.
did a wonderful, spectacular Spider-Man with Paul Jenkins. Great run. I think maybe 20 issues or so. Really great run. Really great Uncle Ben stuff done in there. Just
Really good.
excellent. Just excellent run. Um, I'm very confused at this because I haven't seen Mark Buckingham, and you just were talking to him 3 months ago at Baltimore. Um, I don't know what
Yeah.
this is. I'm
Super,
happy he's getting
super nice
paid.
guy.
I'm not mad at this.
That cover is super Buckingham. But this
Yeah,
interior, if you had handed this to me, I would have been like, I don't know who drew this.
I don't know. It's weird. It's almost like do you remember when Paul Smith came back and did like an issue of Uncanny X-Men
Yes.
and it's boring? Like I feel like this is that.
I feel like his Leave It to Chance was boring too, but
Yeah.
I haven't given that a second chance. Sorry,
I
unintentional
never
pun.
chance. Yeah, no, I've read 3 issues. I never even finished the first storyline. I leave it to chance. Can't do it.
So
Um,
your favorite writer, one of your favorite writers,
mhm.
comes back to an image book with Paul Smith, one of the most renowned X-Men artists of our times, and it's like, meh. It's just a. I
I
mean, the book's
haven't
not for
liked.
us.
Yeah, I've never liked any James Robinson book after.
After
What he
Starman,
did, Cry for Justice, I thought was kind of okay, and everyone hates that. That's a Justice League miniseries that everyone hates.
it's okay.
I kind of like it,
I kind of liked
because
his
it's ballsy.
Airboy comic.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, that was. I'm trying to think who drew that. I have the hardcover of that. I have that signed by both of them. I think I forget who
Yeah,
drew that, but that had a lot of personality. But see, that's right. I like when he's seemingly doing some autobiographical stuff because Airboy is a bit of autobiographical because Airboy wasn't about Airboy. It was about creators. It was about
yeah.
people who created Airboy. But it was all that drunken stuff and that's apparently real life stuff that he did with, and it feels like that. It feels like that's why I think even Invisibles feels has a certain authenticity when Spider Jerusalem's traveling around Spider Jerusalem. I'm like I'm any bald person. I'm just
Who? Yeah,
mixing.
just
I'm just mixing
random
up
ball
bald
guy.
guys. However, that God, why
King.
can't I think of a King Mob?
Yeah,
So while King Mob's doing that,
Mark.
doing different things.
I can't believe I had to tell you that.
I know. I can't believe. Yeah. Well, it's funny that I almost thought that was wrong for a second, but what's kind of fun about that is we know some of the storylines with him almost like some of it was literally Graham Morrison almost died. He took a bunch of drugs. He had King Mob doing the same thing inside the book itself. So anyway, I don't. We're big stands for Mark Buckingham because he's so unfortunately, and we're upset. We've been upset. We've talked about it multiple times
Yeah.
that we don't know what's going to happen with the next wave of Miracle Man books. I don't know if people are going to buy it if it's not Gaiman attached to it, but is
Are
Marvel
people
even going
going
to
to buy
publish
it?
it?
But if people buy it, if Gaiman is attached to it, whether he is or isn't, there's a big sect of people who aren't going to buy it. And I say just, forget about him.
Maybe.
Mark Buckingham can write. And it's basically the plots are all Gaiman's anyway. Just do it. We can't wait.
Yeah,
It's not like we're going to forgive Neil Gaiman in 5 or 10 years. He's done. He's done with
right,
comics.
right, right,
So
right.
if you need a cool off period, great. Take 6 months, take a year, but get it done. In the meanwhile, pencils up. So
Pencils up.
put it out monthly. But give it a year. Give it some time. Because I want more Miracle Man. I waited too long to get that Silver Age completion,
Right,
and now I'm not going to get the Dark Age.
right, right, right.
No.
Yeah, that's kind of the hey, buddy, come here.
And we got to
There.
make way because Marvel wants to do Marvel Man. They want to
I don't
do
know how
Miracle
the.
Man in the
I
Marvel
feel
universe.
it's. I feel like it's. I feel like it was a spearhead by Casada, and I feel like it never got there because again, we're too reverent to Neil Gaiman, who's not. He doesn't. He's not pro comics. You know what I mean? It's he's pro himself. Like you know what I mean? Like every project that he's ever worked on has been late. 1602, Sandman, Overture, everything at a certain point, nothing was on time. Zero, and that's
No, he
not
doesn't.
good.
He
The
doesn't
urgency is
care
not there.
about comics. I don't know how much he ever loved comics before.
I don't know.
Like,
Yeah.
did he get into comics just because he saw the path Alan Moore took and he wanted to take it, and then it was just a shortcut to writing novels?
I think so. I think it would probably, his heart might have always been in, but I feel like that's again, that goes back to like Stan Lee didn't wasn't going to work in comics. He wanted to write the Great American Novel and never did.
Yeah, and
You
Siegel and
know,
Schuster wanted to do newspaper strips.
right? And even Tom King, aforementioned Tom King, he has a book. He did a novel. He was going to do novels, but then just fell in and had some really good early work.
Yeah, but at least
Uh,
Tom King is a comic fan.
he is,
He's
yeah,
like, I don't
for
know
sure.
how big of a fan Neil Gaiman was.
No, I agree. I don't think there's like the true love into that. So, um, yeah, I mean, I look at this panel. I really love this panel here. It's weird. I felt let down on this because again, we didn't get this doesn't really feel like Buckingham. I thought if you were going to do something like this, and when I heard it was going to be the Point Deaths, I thought it was going to be really small, like the last Point Deaths, which was just a
Right.
small story of, Spider-Man in a room, and then
Spider-Man
there we go.
in the room.
This is in
Tommy
the
Wiseau's The
room.
Room.
That's right.
I would take that movie.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh,
Um,
hi, Mark. Oh my, you love it.
I do love that. But this is all we get. It's all we get of the Buckingham, like it's. And then so I even put in here we go. So I even put this in. Triumphant Return to Spider-Man. What Spider-Man? This
That that panel.
of laying down Spider-Man and boring fucking Phil Coulson with the little charm, the little brooch. Fucking I hate that. I hate the concept, this Phil Coulson concept. I fucking hate it. It makes me I never thought we needed Phil Coulson in comics ever. Should never cross back
I
ever.
don't mind Phil Coulson coming in comics because we don't have like uh was it Quartermain? We don't have him anymore. We
Clay
don't have
Quartermain.
yeah, where's
I
where's
love Clay Quartermain.
he was great. He was all through the McFarlane Hulk. That's where I always
Oh
loved him
yeah,
from.
yeah.
Where's did they
He was
ever
in Nick Fury versus Shield. That's
okay.
really fun. That's a cool book. That's actually it was Bob Harris and Paul Neary. I have that twice. I think I have the initial issues, which had a bunch of great covers, Bob Larkin covers, Sienkiewicz covers. Just one. I think Chaykin might have even done a cover. Then
Yeah,
I have the trade for that. So yeah, I love that book. That book's really, really great.
that book's fun. Did they ever bring back when did Glenn Talbot die?
Oh, I don't know. Then Hulk. Uh, I don't remember exactly when. David killed him off
I feel like it.
at some point.
Weak
Um,
move.
yeah.
Because there's a dude who's so popular because he was on the Hulk cartoon. He was like a foil.
Mhm.
He was
Yeah.
like Glenn Talbot.
Glenn Talbot. You know what's kind of sad if you go back to, is it the first Hulk movie where they had, um, it was Phil Dunphy. It was that guy. That guy was, Doc Samson.
Yeah, he was Doc Samson.
What is dumb casting? You know what I mean? Like bad casting, you know?
Right.
That guy can never be Doc Samson. Doc
But
Samson's
what's the
goofy,
but
but
what's the
like
name? Wait a
Doc
minute.
Samson's a
Was
goofy fucking character. But Talbot was Josh Lucas.
right?
Yeah,
Sweet Home Alabama, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have that. So now so
Well,
we have
you
a
also had
Talbot in
him.
there.
You had him in Agents of Shield, but it was the actor who played Peter Petrelli on Heroes, the brother to
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
like he played
Uh,
Glenn Talbot, and he looked awesome because they gave him a little mustache.
yeah, I forget his name. Crap, I forget his name, but yeah, he was solid. Um, so here we go. Justice League Unlimited 4,
All right.
another
Um.
fantastic issue.
Yeah.
It wrapped up this storyline.
Yeah. I like this
Dan
issue.
Moore, this is Tamara Bonvillain. And I knew from the
Ooh.
jump on this, you would love this because this is Tefe Holland
Tefe. Yeah.
in the same. Was that Brian K. Vaughan did that series? It's the
Yeah.
same outfit from that, which I think is really cool. Like you're holding that.
That Brian Kevon Swamp Thing series with her, Tefe Holland, is really good.
I only read like the first issue of that thing. Uh,
Let's go back.
but
But of
yeah,
course, because she's female, Moore draws her perfectly.
it's excellent. Yeah, the hair is great. Again, he just does an amazing. Like, look at how good. Again, it's just they're stellar. It's just they're always very specific. Three different female. Again, I don't know
Yeah.
how he's drawing this. Like, is he
I don't
drawing
know.
some of? I just don't understand. And this again, this is Tamara Bonvillain, and so this has a different feel to it than Alejandro Sanchez on Superman.
Hmm.
So again, came out same week. I mean, I don't know how this guy just draws like 24 hours a day. This I kind of
Listen,
kind of zoomed in a bit
when
because
the money's coming in, keep drawing it because you don't know when it's going to stop.
no, I agree.
Do we know anything about Damar? Is he American,
No,
English,
I think he's from South America, I
South
think. I'm
America?
pretty
South America
sure.
was my real guess,
Yeah.
but like I don't know where he was before Grant Morrison and Klaus,
I
and
don't
then
I don't know, yeah. Nowhere.
and
And then
then
he did
once in
Once in
future.
Future. Yeah.
So that's like a Scottish writer and then an English writer, but he's from South America.
Yeah, once in Future. But yeah, I wonder if that was a Boom like find. Maybe he did some minor book. Oh, you know what he did
Oh,
he
Power Rangers.
yeah, he
Did he
did
do
that's
Power
right.
Rangers?
He might have done Power Rangers first and then
I
got
feel
pulled
like
over.
I feel
That
like you're
might make
correct.
sense. Yeah. And he did a lot of Power Rangers cover work and then he did a
He's a
lot of
huge
crossover cover work.
he's a huge Power Rangers fan.
Well,
Like
that
that's a
works.
legit thing. So
Yeah, that works. Um, but even coming from this, like there's just a whole lot of tech going on. Again, I don't care if the tech is taken from some, don't care. Looks great.
no.
Um, again, everyone's there, you know. This was an amazing, fantastic page. I like the Aquaman being involved. I like this bearded Aquaman. Tim's
Yeah.
doesn't draw it as like this like pushed out scruffy. John Tim's an Aquaman artist, which I feel is late or it's not really impacting me. Maybe it's not late. I just feel like I should like that book more, and I don't really think about it.
Did you see that rumor of Alan? Is it Richardson? Richardson, the one who plays Jack Reacher?
No, what's that as Aquaman?
Yeah, like coming back as Aquaman because he played Aquaman on Smallville, which is hilarious. So the idea of him coming back as Aquaman because he's just the dude. He's jacked Reacher.
He's so
He
big right
looks
now. Yeah, I
he's so
don't know.
big.
He's got to be roiding a little bit, just a little bit.
We
Um, yeah, but see, like, did you see at the end of this? So again, I like anything Swamp Thing. Again,
yes.
don't care if that's
Give me the
reference.
like
Parliament of Trees, wonderful
making the Parliament of
concept.
Trees do action. It's like the Ents go to war. Like this, I feel like this should have been a double page
Yeah,
spread.
that's
Like the
right.
Parliament of Trees. Yeah, no, this is a big deal.
Yeah,
They
you could have
stand around and do
taken
nothing.
this, right. You could have done this in a double page. I would be fine with that.
I would have
Maybe
been
you have
totally
to
fine
have
with
the
it.
tension. I think this page is really cool too because again, I think I zoomed in like you have like what
These are a lot of really good
three
small panels.
three character four,
I
five,
don't.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Is
12.
it too many panels? Do I want to see this stuff
Nah, I
bigger? Do
think
I want to
this is
see?
good.
I don't know. I go back
Again,
and
it's
forth.
not it's not it's just to kind of show the enormity of the concept of how much it's affecting. And I like that I like that I really like that we have we have this. Ram V. It's a good addition. Every Swamp Thing is that Swamp Thing was a good book, but they're respecting it and they're
Yeah.
adding it versus ignoring it. Where I feel like we talked a lot about other books that just will come and go and doesn't matter.
He does World's Finest so he doesn't have to deal with anything from the past 10 years,
Mhm.
you know?
Right.
So at least, but with Justice League, he can't do that. He has to face everything head on. And I appreciate the work that that takes because he's
Yeah.
doing more work than we are, and we're the fans. But like, we're not reading as much as we used to. It's becoming a chore.
Yeah, we don't want to. I mean, we got more deadline based, I think, both of us, because we want to be current on the books versus we would let some stuff build up. So makes me excited for some books. Like this book has been exciting. Superman Evolving has been exciting. We're kind of like really on top of that Superman
There's,
book because
you
we
know what it
want it to
is?
be a certain way.
The better books really rise to the top, and the books that
Mm,
aren't as good, reading them monthly, like sometimes there's a strength in reading stuff all in one. You give it a better things come out looking better if you watch it all at once. Like binging. People like a show better, but like would that show succeed if you were watching it week to week? You know?
right.
So we're reading these books now, month to month, week to week. So we're getting a chance to really like kind of delve into it. We're not binging it. We're not just cramming a bunch of stuff into our brain and coming out with a better opinion. We're we're dissecting this, you know?
Yeah, I like the breaks. I like the breaks in between. I like
No, I
the.
think it's better that way because we really appreciate. Like, I am really looking forward to the next issue of Superman. I am looking forward to
Oh
the
yeah.
next issue of Justice League.
Mhm.
You know, and that's kind of the way our this podcast is evolving. Is because we're finding ourselves really excited about certain books, and these are the ones that we want to talk about. We don't want to
Mhm.
talk about the books, like even though we just talked about Spider-Man 68 Point Death. Like, there's things to talk about that,
Well, yeah, we
but
wanted to. I mean, again, I was looking forward to that. They hyped the Buckingham was coming back. I wanted that. I wanted that nostalgia. I wanted that, and I didn't got none of it. Zero. Like you said,
no.
it could have been any of those guys, Martin Kokolo, could any of those
You know,
newer guys.
I feel like they sort of switched the artist of the 2 Point Deaths issues because Buckingham would have
Oh,
drawn
the Real Quiet issue,
the Real
correct?
Quiet issue phenomenally.
That would have been more right because his facial work is much better. He does great. He does better facials.
Yeah. And then Kev Walker would have drawn the action awesomely.
Yeah, Kev Walker's really fun. Kev Walker's recent run on that Guardians book was awesome, and his Thunderbolts run before that really fun too.
Yeah.
So
Why is
Thunderbolts is
that?
a
Why is
couple
that
weeks.
answer so obvious to us? We're
I don't
not
know.
editors. It just was like, hey, wait
Uh,
a minute. You mean Mark Buckingham, who wrote the issue of Uncle Ben taking Peter Parker to a Mets game, which almost is like a tearjerker in general?
uh,
Like, he wrote all these great issues of
mm,
really just really digging into characters, and we
yeah,
don't have him do the character issue. All right,
yeah, we
whatever.
forgot. No, yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand because that
So
book came out like a month ago. Like it came out 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. So it wouldn't have
yes,
been that different on the schedule. Or if you swapped them, it doesn't matter. That issue doesn't
it wouldn't
matter.
have
It
mattered.
wouldn't have mattered at
No,
all.
no,
You know? Uh,
weird choices.
yeah. So I think this is pretty fun. JLG, Justice
JLG
League Green. Listen, Justice League Dark didn't necessarily work, and they tried that like 3 times. That didn't necessarily work.
and
JLG will not
and
work.
never
So I
Justice
like
League
that they
Dark.
have it here, and then they're just like, oh, we're probably not going to do that.
Here's the thing: you could have called the comic The Dark, and that would have done better than Justice League Dark, because the two don't go hand in hand. Like,
Justice League
I
Dark.
enjoyed those are all great characters, but like, don't throw Justice League on there. You could have called them The Dark. You could have called them anything. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Again, we're not anyone.
You were defeated
So
by trees. So we still don't really know that. I mean, we still don't know this like shadowy organization as we know Airwave is kind of. Listen, it's the classic thing where he's going to be like he wants to betray him and then he may betray him, but then he fights them. I get
yes,
it. It's coming. Don't care. Care, don't care.
it'd be nice if it. Maybe it won't come. Wade doesn't
It'll be
like
a
to
bit.
plan ahead.
Yeah, but I
You
mean, I think he'll. Yeah, I'm not sure when it'll come back, but I'm looking forward to it. Either way. I don't really like these covers because the covers are never. I think every issue of this. I think Wolverine was on issue one or two, I think, on the last issue, and then the next issue also has like a looks like Winter Soldier. And it's not exactly like that. So it's like he's wearing like a Winter Soldier AE outfit in the front end, but he's straight up like young Bucky in here, you know. So Jonas Sharf on covers, great. Adam Gorham on interiors,
Yeah,
great. Yeah, it feels a little bit like again, we're getting some of that. I mean, we're getting that's like a new Panosian feel a little bit here. Um, I do like that basically this band, no one wants to help this group. You know, this group literally is like a rogue group, and then Bucky's exhausted and then wants to feel like he wants to do something. Also, really dark Bucky here, by the way, because we don't really have that. Uh, I was taking ears off of Nazis I killed, and he took it. So he's crying. He's crying because he
yeah,
literally had, and that's a very disturbing concept and image.
yeah. I don't think Bucky has ever been portrayed that way. Like they portrayed him like I think it was it Daniel Way's Wolverine Origins book when they started flashing back, and that's the first time they started giving Bucky a gun.
Hmm. Right,
You
right.
know, so this doesn't really mesh in line with that Bucky with a gun.
Yeah,
Whatever.
and I think that and McGinnis did the covers, but I think it was Somni and Franco Villa. They did some Cap and Bucky stories. Did Brubaker write those? If is that right? Does that sound right? Uh,
Yeah, he's not a monster.
and then McGinnis did the covers, but they still didn't have Dark Bucky. That was just like nostalgic jump around Bucky. Reeves Robin. It was like Robin, basically,
Yeah,
right?
which is
Just like
yeah,
that's kind of how they do it. Um, but I do like that, you know, we're handling multiple characters that we don't know. So it's a great mix, right? So you got Fury, Bucky, Wolverine, Peggy, new like Sorcerer Supreme, new Ghost Rider. So I think the mix is really fun. I think this book is really
yeah.
fun. It's just a continual exploration of like the Daniel Warren Johnson, like a little side verse, you know. So this has been funner than I expected, and I'm really enjoying this. I do have questions, and this has always been a question for me that I think makes zero sense. You can't be behind Ghost Rider when he's going anywhere because then your head's going to be on fire. You're just going to
Yeah,
get
you have to
flames.
just duck
You
down the whole
can't do
time.
it. Like it's not, it's just, and it happens all the time, all the time. Um, okay, so here we go. But in the Turtle 7, so again, this has been a wonderful build.
Hmm.
This is the best issue of Turtles, I think, so far. But because we've had the last six issues, and because this is now like sinking in Juan Ferreira, I have no idea this is cover C. Don't do this as covers. Just give him cover A. Do you really think that Jorge Fornes, this cover is going to sell better than
No,
this cover? Are you kidding
no,
me?
because that first cover just kind of reminds you of the Sophie Campbell run.
Yeah.
That's what that kind of looks like to me.
Yeah. Jorge
There's
Fornes
no
shouldn't be drawing that. It's not, there's no dynamic to this at all.
there's no financial reason for that to be cover
Also,
A.
this is not even correct. Donatello doesn't look like that right now. Like he's all skinnied out and like it's this is not representative of and a little I guess with this stuff, sure, got some of the notes, but not really. Like I don't know. But like look at this. Like this actually, you know, this is similar to was that who does it? Freddie Williams. Freddie Williams and then
Yes.
the Andrew Dollhouse. I'm trying to remember who there's a colorist that works with him on all that stuff, all the crossover stuff. Feels like that perfectly fine. But again, Juan Ferreira is doing better than I think everyone. Burnham, anyone that's already been on. There's been a ton of people. Joel Jones, he's doing the most distinctive individual turtles.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I do love this portrayal of Donatello. Even this, like ridiculous. But see, that's what I mean. Is you have this. I just love this Donatello concept. I don't know how he came up with that. You know, just every page is perfect. This is a perfect friggin' page. But I do like the media going against them. You know what I mean? I think that's interesting. I don't remember in the old cartoon if they had like April O'Neil like editorials and stuff where they're promoted as like the you know, or was it more of like we hate Peter Parker? No, we hate Spider-Man. Um,
Yeah, I don't remember.
City of Newark, Newark, New Jersey, which If anyone know, have you ever been in like just the heart of terrible Newark, New Jersey? I'm not sure
Yes.
how much. It's
Yes.
horrible. It is like you're gonna
It's
get murdered.
it's where all of the Jersey tropes come from. All of New
It's
York's
bad.
Jersey tropes is all
Yeah,
about Newark. Like you
yeah,
hear anyone make a joke ever, oh, Jersey girl, Jersey this, Jersey that, it's all Newark, which is
bad.
basically the Camden. Camden is to Philly as Newark is to New York.
Hmm. Yeah.
That is my uh what do they call that on the SATs?
Oh, I don't know. I don't
You know, like
pass.
sock is to foot as glove is to what?
Analogous.
Analogous?
I think
Is it?
that's wrong too.
I think. I don't know
Super
why I ask
Mutant
you things
Ninja.
sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna know. I don't know about amalgam. Yeah, I just love all this, and again, really pretty, wonderful April, and I buy that this
Yep.
April's gonna beat some ass. You know what I mean? I buy all this, and also I don't know what's going on here, but she doesn't know either, because after this happens and all these the rats take all these the foot agents away,
There's a
she's like,
there's a there's a
I don't know what this is.
there's a fun
You
little
know?
James Klachaka song called "Bit to Death" by Rats. It's like 30 seconds long. It's
Oh,
just like
really?
"Bit to Death by
That
Rats,
sounds
bit
like
to
a
death by Rats,
it sounds like a They Might
bit
Be
to
Giants
death
song.
by Rats." It does. There's a similarity there. This
Pretty emotional, man.
get a
I
little
love
teary.
Splinter
I
Man.
was a little teary. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Again, this is a very different Jason Aaron that we got on Batman Offworld. Very different Jason Aaron than he's doing on Absolute Superman. I'm waiting for his emotion to pop into Superman. Superman's been kind of flat for me, Absolute Superman. So I want that emotion coming through.
It's on his
I think it
Krypton
will.
pages.
Yeah, it
It's
will
there.
where
It's
it's going to be
there
going in that
on
story.
Krypton. It just hasn't.
Hmm.
He hasn't brought that emotion to Earth yet.
Yeah, it's a slow burn.
Yeah,
All those Absolutes are doing a slow burn, but they're good.
yeah.
Not filler.
I love when they try to give him like a live rat. He's like, "What do you think? I'm insane? That's just a rat."
Yeah, he doesn't like the live rat. He likes the dead rat, you
Yeah.
know.
Well,
I love it. I think this is really I think this is my favorite Turtles run. You know, current run. You know, I guess I like City of War quite a bit. That I bought as it came out. That was the Jim Lawson stuff, which was really fantastic. Really good Zipatones on that. I don't know if you read that. That was like 50. I had that poster too. I got that poster from
well, we all read issue
comic
50
store.
because it had a McFarlane and a Larson pinup.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
We're like, what? McFarlane and Larson both do pinups in Turtles?
Yeah. You got Kevin on, yeah, you got Eastman on B.
I
Okay.
love it.
You can
That
have that.
he's,
That's fine.
Kevin should absolutely be on B.
Yeah. This was, I think, like a Derek shoe. It's, yeah. All right.
It's okay.
This is actually kind of funny. This is kind of like in between the two Turtles movies, right? So it's kind of
Yes.
like the heads of the Jim Henson, but they're big, like Alan Ritchson. Alan Ritchson Reacher was one of the Turtles. He
He
hated
was
that
a turtle.
experience, by the way.
Did he?
Totally hated that. Oh yeah, big time,
Um,
big time.
the other, the two of the
He
other
was
turtles
treated
I
really
knew.
poorly. Mike was it Michael Bay was on set. I think he bitched about Michael Bay. I don't think Michael Bay directed that, right? He
No, they
didn't.
just produced it.
Yeah.
The one kid was like a real skinny kid. Like I had seen him. I remember him like Men in Black. He was like in Men in Black 2 as like a letter sorter at like the post office. And the other guy who played a turtle was on Shameless. He played Mickey. I think his name was Mickey. I forget,
Oh,
but
he's a big guy. Is that
he
right?
was
Was
the
he one
he.
of
It wasn't that big. No, he was the boyfriend of Ian. Ian's boyfriend. The one that always looked kind of
Okay.
scummy. Looked like a homeless version of like Billy Joe Armstrong. But he was a turtle in those Michael Bay turtle movies too.
I had never seen the second one. And it's funny because the second one I thought looked more interesting because it had like the Terradrome and stuff. It had like stuff I wanted to see, and then I didn't see that either. You
The
know?
problem with the second one is that it came out after the new cartoon, and the cartoon was so good it was hard to watch that second movie. That was the I don't
I
even
still
know.
haven't seen Mutant Mayhem. That's good though, right? The new one, the new
Yeah, it's
cartoonish
it's
one.
good. I didn't watch the cartoons that followed it, and I hear they're pretty decent too.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is the most. I mean, it's the most consistent cartoon re-envisioning over time. To continue, I feel like Transformers has dipped in quality, which is why they're like. I feel like it's a bummer. My girlfriend's mentioned she took her kids to see the new Transformers, and It was like a bunch of 14-year-olds, and they keep asking. It's like, hey, do you know when's two coming out? And it's like she asked me, and I'm like, I'm the guy to ask. However, it did not do very well. And she's like, what do you mean it didn't do well? I even liked it. I'm like, I know, and it was
It's
very universal, but it just didn't exactly land. I don't know if it was the designs, marketing. I can't really tell. It didn't
if you
break
watch
through,
it,
man.
you like it, and I
Yeah.
find that awesome. But I don't know if Paramount Plus viewing numbers are. I don't know. I know it's a hit on Paramount Plus, but I don't know if it's
Mm,
a hit enough to warrant them to try to do a sequel. And I don't know how the toy sales are. But if it's a hit on Paramount Plus consistently,
mm,
maybe that'll pump up the toy sales, which may make them want to do a sequel.
yeah.
It's all numbers, you know.
Yeah. Uh,
So
so it's
that's cool.
fun.
Jim
Yeah, Jim
Mahfood cover.
Moffitt. And
Always
then
love
just
Jim
doing like
Mahfood.
doing the full color. I mean, he's doing the colors, of course, but I think that's really, really fun. I never thought of doing that. So that's fun.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. We all know, everyone knows, if anyone's watching the show, that I'm not a huge fan of this book. However, this is kind of the best issue, but I still had problems with it, and we'll go through why. Uh, I love Chiquetto. I love that. I think it's really interesting that this has been the format of this book. Every issue has, a really solid cover, and then they showcase the cover. They give you
Yes.
that as a page, which I think is really, really fun. A lot of stuff going on. I put this in here specifically because I feel like we got all this stuff. Like it's weird the way that they name things, right? So he's Spider-Man. She's a PR guru, I guess, right?
It's
This
better than
person
calling her
here.
wife of Spider-Man, which is just
Yeah, I
not
know.
great.
No,
You're
that's
just
not
not,
great. But
no.
then Gwen Stacy, Harry's wife, Oscorp, Peter's uncle, J. Jonah Jameson, Ben's business partner. So he's not J. Jonah's business partner. All of this is weird to me. And then one of the Sinister Six, one of the Sinister Six, one of the what is this? What is this? Mole Man
Well,
and Black Cat, they're not, but that's okay. I'm not really mad about it. I barely remember how many issues has was Harry Osborn Green Goblin in this. I don't even know.
almost every
I don't
issue.
remember. Yeah, but as Green Goblin,
I mean, he
he's
was great.
been
I
in
think
every issue.
doesn't Green Goblin show up in like the second issue?
Yeah, but I think like I don't associate this here. I don't know. I don't know. So again, and the way that this book runs, it runs in real chronological time. So I'm supposed to think that this is like entirely a month. I guess they were missing for a month. They were in like a Savage Land, a hidden Earth for a month. I don't know. I think that they're written into the format and it's cornered. They're putting themselves in a corner,
They were
not in a good
in
way.
New Jersey,
New
Newark, the
Jersey.
Newark Park.
There we go. I love Chiquetto hair.
Yes.
He did this with Elektra. I think this is a Procreate situation. I adore it. Again, Procreate, and then I use this one art program called Paper 53. They have a lot of fun uh, pencil. I like to use this calligraphy pen digital drawing on with the Apple Pencil. So I think Chiquetto has the best time with this. I think this is the coolest looking.
It's
It's
a
always
me, it's a kiddo.
fantastic. They're
Yeah.
I don't know if she looks 17. He's 16. I think this is kind of, again, but I feel like all the emotion, I feel like this whole book is revolved around Peter B. Parker of having this like divorced dad energy, right? So I feel like that, and again, we also know that that's the majority of people that are reading this are dads, right?
Yes.
Like, and there's no new people reading this. There's no 20-year-old kid reading Miles either. That's the bummer of it. That's why Miles can't support a book for very long, so
Has he
uh
ever been without a book?
I just feel like they keep pushing. It just kind of happens. No, I feel like it's there, but it's not impactful.
I don't,
I feel
yeah, I
like
think
they
the
just
impact's
publish
gone, but
it.
I think the sales, I think that the Spider-Man games help the sales on some of these books. And Miles Morales is such a good character, I think, in the Spider-Man game that helps promote his book. So I think there are 20-year-olds reading
Mhm.
Miles, but there's less 20-year-olds reading this book. There's still some 20-year-olds reading it, but not on the level of like I got a friend who's 30 and he's reading it. So he's like in between what we're talking about.
Yeah, I guess I would like to even see what are the numbers for a Spectacular Spider-Man? Like, what are the numbers there? Like, is that should technically be both. That should
Well,
technically be a pretty big hit, right?
Mark, it's funny you bring that up because that's another book that the A artist is gone. Ramos is gone. He's been gone for 5 issues. I guess he's not coming back. Where are these A-list artists going to, man?
Maybe they're all doing the Godzilla crossover. So I know JRJR is
Yeah,
doing one,
maybe.
or they're doing Bring on the Bad Guys one shots. I just hope whatever events they're going to be doing have people in it. Like have like the like you said, have the heavy hitters. Where's McGinnis? Where's Lionel Francis Yu doesn't draw a book. Can we get him? Can we hire him to draw a book? I know he just does covers mainly, probably because he's like a millionaire. But like,
Yeah, two.
uh,
He had two Miller World properties, so he gets double the money.
right, right. Yeah, I think this consistently was pretty good. There's an urgency of this of them trying to get out of there. I like the repetition of this makes it a little bit more. He knows about MJ and the kids. I think this is really fun. And then when he does show up, the danger of it's there. This mole man's really creepy. I think it's really kind of fun. The mole men are really frightening too.
Yeah.
This is what made me think about, the Spider-Verse movie is that we're gonna kind of do this same rooftop like you're still doing the Spider-Gwen Miles type of thing here a little bit, So I just was felt this was borrowed. It's fine.
Wasn't it always Bart? Wasn't then? Isn't that where Peter Parker told MJ he was Spider-Man for Ultimate Spider-Man? I feel like it's taken from that too.
Yeah, I mean, again,
And it's probably an older trope than that, but like that's
sure. Yeah.
in recent memory one of the most well used times of doing that.
I think Jaquetta works digitally here. I mean, this seems like that. We've looked a lot of the art, but it's a lot of chaotic art elements down here, which is really really fun. I like the bullets coming out. That's for the shell casings, the inking. It's a lot of work being put into this.
Yeah,
But this I really wasn't expecting. I also thought this. What does this look like? That looks like Ramos. Actually, we just talked about Ramos, but I feel like that looks like someone that
yeah.
art
The,
looks
the
like
chin,
someone
the chin. Yeah,
fun, really fun. Um, But yeah, really good action, really good brutal action. This I was expecting something to happen. It felt very dangerous, and that's what I
yeah.
feel. That's what I liked about this. It did feel really really dangerous. You know what's funny about this book? I bitch about this book when it starts, then I go through it every single issue, and I'm like, man. And then by the end, I'm like, man, I really like that issue. So yeah, so very pretty
You're funny.
powerful. But I don't I hate this though. I don't want this to
Yes,
happen. However, I feel like this didn't happen. You know why? Because like the next page is like Mysterio showing up.
yes.
So I feel like this did not happen.
I feel like you are correct.
And I'm fine with it
Yes,
because it was done so well. I thought all this fighting was done so well. When it did hit to this, I'm just like, oof, God, no, I don't want this to be a thing, And then he goes back, and then now this is going to pull them out, which I might want. I might want to see what they're doing here because he's going to get everybody out. He says, we got to get out of here, you know? So I don't know what that is. And I even think that the son being like that esque being the symbiote Spider-Man is interesting too. So I feel like they are playing with some okay stuff here.
right.
Um, I just think it's a weird book because they're so into that. This could be one. It doesn't have to be like a month. He was going a month. Like I'm just confused at like the way that they have it. Or I guess it's not a month in the whole book. I guess it's like that time has progressed and they're showing an element of what happened inside of that month, a day or two or whatever. So I guess that's more of what I'm thinking. Like they're not showing you 30 days worth of stuff here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. So but that's all the reviews here. I do have some goodies at the end. Did you I a couple other things that we read I thought were fine. I thought Absolute Wonder Woman was kind of flat, so I read it but I didn't really
No, it
care
was
about
fine.
it,
It was fine. It
you
wasn't,
know.
it was
But that's
good.
kind of
Just
the end of
didn't.
the storyline. I feel like it should have been a little bit more impactful. I don't know how all the Absolute books are going to connect. But yeah, I think I read everything that we were supposed to read
And
last week. I just
they're gonna
didn't
connect
really.
by maybe this evil legion, that's in Superman.
Yeah, something has to unify them. I still feel that a lot of the Absolute books they don't feel like they're in the same universe, and I guess that's okay, you know. Um, I guess that's fine. So,
That's cool.
anything else you read this week? Anything else that was
I
good
did,
for
but
you?
we're doing this a little later than normal, so I kind of forget.
Yeah, me too. Hashtag
But
me
that's
too.
fine. We got new books this week, and we'll talk about them on Sunday.
Yeah, here's just a couple things this week updates. That's just because I kind of threw them in the folder here. So this is a 1980. This is Valor. This is a newspaper size. It's almost like a magazine size. But the reason I got this, I'm doing different parts of my office, and
Because you love
I found
crazy
this.
English miscolor mis
About offset
spellings.
color. I do like that. Yeah, Valor. Yeah, I do like.
Velour. It's like
But
a
it's a black and
material.
white reprint inside. But this was a pinup that I want to say this pinup is not in color here. It was either a Foom pinup or it was a pinup in like one of the Savage Sword or Savage Tales, and it's Buscema and Frank Thorne, so that's really fun.
That's neat.
Um, but I found it was Joanne Fabrics, by the way, going out of business. So they have all their frames are like 60% off. So
I'm about to talk to you
hit
about
that up.
why do you think they're going out of business? So they just open there, but like nobody cares. What am I doing? Don't talk about
No one,
local stores.
nobody cares about Joanne. No, well, Joanne Fabrics technically, is nationwide, but yeah, they're going out. So, and I don't know if Big Lots is going out too. I got a bulletin board at Big Lots for $10. I'm hitting all these going out of business storefronts. I'm hitting them up. So again, really cool. I like the coloring on that. There is a ROM French reprint book
Mais
they
oui.
have a bunch of painted covers. So again, everything in my office, I'm trying to have it things that are not printed. So this we're actually probably going to do a show on. So here's a Big Guns poster that I got amazingly for like 4.99, of course, because it's just, but it's huge. It's like 50 by 30. I don't even have a frame for it because there's unless you get a custom frame, a 50 by 30 frame is $125 on Amazon. It's not available. No one's selling a 50 by 30. So just really, really funny. I also wonder if I should just try to contact Phil Winslade and be like, what's going on here? Because again, this wild pack, no one's
Yeah,
in this except for Sandman.
yeah.
Like Carol Danvers did not join that. I don't know who that is. Um, I mean, the stuff that came out, of course, but this is, the Death's Head costume is a little different. Like, what's the reference here? That's the Cage reference. Sure, Terror
Right.
looks a little bit, I guess,
A
kind of
little.
close to different. Punisher, sure.
Do you know?
Um,
I don't know if I brought this up on the news or not, but they were in pre-production on a Terror Incorporated TV show.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. You told me. I tried
Like,
to find art for it, but all I found was like they did a Terror Max miniseries a couple years ago, and I kept seeing that because the cover of that was really realistic. So I was like, oh, is that like a production photo? And it
so
looked like,
weird.
yeah. And then Nomad with the baby, but I wonder which Nomad this is. If that was Nomad the first mini, or that was the ongoing, probably.
Oh, what is this an ad for? Probably for the ongoing because he doesn't have the baby in the first issue of the mini, right? Isn't that kind of
That's right. Yeah, I think the mini is
like the
getting that baby.
getting that baby?
Get that baby, Lone Wolf and Cub baby. So, and Paladin, right?
Paladin
What's
only
he do? I
popular
I don't even
because
think I
McFarlane drew him.
noticed him. I don't even think I noticed him in this
No,
picture.
he almost looks like part of Nomad's leg. Like
Yeah,
it's the same
Nomad's
colors.
penis.
That's right.
It's part of Nomad's
His
penis. Okay.
palette,
So
his
who is
palette dick.
this? So yeah, like I kind of want to see. Like I don't know if again with the world the way that it is, like is Phil Winslade busy? Can I just be like, hey, can we talk about this? Can I interview you about this? How did this happen? And again, if you remember, they had handouts. I've only ever seen this. I actually have it. They'd have a regular. I think it was a magazine size, but retail outlets had store. They would give you this poster, and the poster was half of it.
It is funny.
And
It
let
is
me see,
funny
do
the
I have
amount of
that?
covers on this big guns poster. The amount of guns on this poster.
Yeah, let me see. I have it here. So, but this is what they gave away. It didn't have it. So this is it. This is what they would give away. So it's almost magazine size, and on the back of it is just like I'll have to take it out of this thing, but it just tells you what's going on. It just tells you about the books and who the creative teams. Oh, but I only have the one side of it, so now I need to see if I can find the other side if they even had the other side. because I wonder if it
Yeah.
had the creative teams for that those creative teams. It didn't happen, because recently we found out that there was like, what was that? Prowler. We did a special where it was like a Prowler pinup that's by Scott McDaniel. That book never came
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Crazy. So anyway, but everything I want in my office, basically, I want it to be. Oh, quick review on this thing. I think this looks really good, especially with the lighting that I have it in the area that it is in my office. However, it's really, really weird. So this is the McFarlane Deadpool cover, or Deadpool
The
first
McFarlane
appearance.
toy of the Liefeld Deadpool first appearance
Yeah.
cover.
Let's
Yes.
hear. Let me grab this because what's crazy about this is that it comes in the package, so it's all there, but the
Right.
back is just like marble. You can't even really see it. It's just like marble, like it's like nothing. But I think it's really crappy that the back of it has no inks on it. It's just a plain. It's like no one's going to look at the back of it. You can look at the back of it. So even the back of this is just like plastic unpaint, but you're not
The
going to
back
paint.
the back of the toy isn't?
The back of the toy has no inks at all.
Ah, that's lazy.
It's lazy. Right. So I
You could
wonder if
have
they're
looked
all like that. It's
like I
not
would
it's
have
not
looked through
inexpensive. It's $30. I mean, and again,
yes.
in FYE, it's $50. But everything else, I mean, it feels and looks it's really good. Yeah, I don't know if Liefeld had it on his live stream, if he talked about it or has it or has shown anyone. I think it's really good, but unless and I also don't know where I'm going to put it exactly, but like if I have a couple of them, I only have so many corners. If I have like a curio cabinet or something, I don't know. I have to figure out what I'm going to do because I know I want to get the Iron Man one, and I know I want to get uh
One.
the Thor one
Yeah.
at
One
least.
quick thing I want to show you. Um, my wife had got this for me for Christmas one year, and I just kind of rediscovered it. I was putting away my Superman Christmas decorations. I have a collection of Hallmark Superman decorations,
Mm.
and I love this one so much. It's a little 3D
Oh
diorama,
wow,
like of
yeah,
Superman #1. I'm
that's
like,
really fun.
this thing is incredible, and it
Mm.
feels awesome. Like it's just like I love tiny toys, and on the back it's the classic.
Oh wow, geez, that's a
So
lot. That's like a lot for
it's is a lot
that
for a
little
Hallmark.
thing,
Yeah, there's
huh?
some great, and I'll maybe next Christmas I'll kind of do like a here's my Superman collection of Hallmark ornaments,
Yeah, I'll
or,
take
or at
that.
least show my top 10. But that one in particular, I love it. So
So this
that's
was
all.
this is really so this is there's actually a regular poster of this that is I believe is exactly the same. However, the reason this I got because again I want to have something that's not really around, or art that's not really seen or unpublished, like the Guardians of the Galaxy is an unpublished that I have too, and I have some other stuff coming. I have a
Mhm.
Conan that's coming that was an ad that was not in any of the Conan the Adventurer books, and then I have the Hearts of Darkness poster coming, so that'll all be featured. Glow in the dark, baby. Glow in the dark. What's really weird about this is I remember seeing this in Tower Records in like 1993. I think it was like $25. I'm like, man, I don't have $25.
Yeah,
Uh, but and we talked about this earlier when we talked on the phone earlier. Does glow in the dark stuff not just does it work
yeah.
forever? How is
Every
this the
glow in the dark
case?
thing I have still glows in the dark. The Ghost Rider 15 cover still glows.
This is so crisp. It's so crisp. Like this doesn't even really give it justice. Like it's
If I were to guess,
super crisp,
it's
dude.
the radioactivity. It's
I
the
don't care what it is, dude. I don't care what it is, but how
it's the
fun.
radium. It's the radium in it.
Yeah. So that's super fun. I'm real excited. The Conan posters in Trenton. It's been sitting in there for. I'm waiting for that. Hopefully, I get that this weekend.
Better Trenton than Newark.
Better Trenton than Newark. Very Jersey centric episode. So, but that's it. Reviews day wrapped up. Uh, we got to go to bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Together,
it is very
maybe.
late.
Hopefully.
Wink.
Wink, wink.
What was that? I heard someone talking about a waterbed today, and I used to date a girl who had a waterbed in high school, and I'm like, does anybody have waterbeds anymore? Do they still make them?
I don't know. I don't know.
They're
I don't
probably
know.
they're
Actually.
probably like terrible for your back. Like as a young
Right.
man, it's fine, but like as an
Right.
old
Right. Right.
man, no thanks. Get that the hell out of here.
No, I know. Yeah. Oh,
Too
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
My daughters, they probably did like waterbed. What's that? I got to tell them. See if they even heard of them before.
That's my favorite scene in Edward Scissorhands, though. Is like when I think,
Oh yeah, so I guess they would know because there is a waterbed in Edward Scissorhands. They've seen
yeah,
that movie.
yeah.
They're
So
big.
that's
They're big Tim
probably it.
Burton fans.
That's probably it.
That's their frame of reference. That are probably like, "What the hell's this? That's not a real thing.
Right.
It's as magical as the rest of this movie."
Mm, that's a good movie. That's his best movie. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think that's his best movie. So that's it. Anything else? Anything else? We all wrapped up?
I think it's all wrap for this week. Anything we missed, if we did, we could talk about it
Yeah.
next
Oh,
week
yeah. We
on
do want
Reviews Day.
people to, if they want to pop in to comments, if there's any book that you think we should be reading or covering. We like to kind of get in, dissect. I swear it's not always going to be an hour long Conan. It probably will. It'll probably always be an hour long Conan review, but that's okay. That's all right.
That's fine.
I mean, seriously, like it was 9.99. Are you kidding me? Did you see all that work? Gosh, that's unreal, dude. That's unreal. That's an unreal situation. You know that there's no better concepted like pound for pound that Titan really gives it to you. X going to give it to you.
That's right.
Uh, yeah. So that's it. That's it for this week. Everyone have a great week. Stay tuned. Specials,
Specials.
one
We'll get to that.
shots.
We got this Last Blood
It's
review
coming.
that it's coming.
I'm editing it this weekend. Promise.